Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash.
Bonjour, everybody. As you can see, we got our favorite Fired Midnight Blogger with me.
Howdy, howdy. I am very glad to be here. I just had a weekend, and good evening to you, Matt Cheapwood. It is always good to see you, sir. So, how have you been this weekend, Moira?
Been all right. It's really hot. The heat didn't used to bother me so much. That comment's like, this is some fucking news.
Literally the first year of my life, the heat's been bothering me, but it's bothering me pretty hard this year.
Maybe it's because we're getting older and we're just not bouncing back the same.
I guess so.
I think it feels like 90 degrees in the 90s was hitting us different than 90 degrees here in the 21st century. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's up with that, but it's a different kind of heat, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, when I was young and on the farm, I was fine until it hit about 105.
Right, same. And even then, I might be all right. There's got a decent breeze.
Yeah. If I was in the shade and there was a breeze, then I was probably still okay. Now it's like it gets 90 degrees, and yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find things to do indoors.
Right. Like, I just can't. Like, mail's just gonna have to wait.
Yes. The only thing that matters is bills, and not meaning to brag, but anymore I actually get them paid. Ha ha. So,
well,
what have we got to talk about today?
Well, a few things. I have been trying really hard, even though I do, of course, I don't plan on ignoring what's going on in Israel, but I feel like I should be mixing it up a little bit and bringing stuff that's going on in other places too.
Yeah.
Since I've at least depressurized and vented a lot about my frustration with over there.
Yes.
There's still going to be some stuff that, like, I talk about domestically that somehow is still going to fucking go back to that somehow because, you know, it's all fucking connected somehow. But I'm trying. Like, because I can't forget that the rest of the world exists. But
and I see
so much stuff is intertwined right now, you know, that it's hard not to somehow end up back at that. Oh, hello, Daniel. Hello and welcome.
Talk a little bit about that, yeah. And Apex Comics is saying, yeah, give us the frickin' news.
Hold on a second. Let me close the door there so that way the air conditioner isn't making a whole bunch of noise. There's my cigarettes. Okay, get my cigarette lit. It is so hot. Even the house doesn't even feel that hot, but like it's somehow hot. Like the temperature doesn't feel hot, but like if I have if I'm sitting here like on my side and my knees kind of bent back, bent a little bit, I'll have like sweat back in my knee, and I'm like, it's not even that fucking hot in here. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's weird, and I'm convinced there's different types of temperature. Like 60 degrees in the summertime is a little chilly. The 60 degrees in December is it's a barbecue and everybody's got shorts and sandals on. It's a different kind of 60 degrees, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's like that with us, with the heat.
Yeah. It's all global warming.
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. I mean, the Earth does go through heating and cooling cycles. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not global warming. It just may or may not be the way they're telling us it is.
Well, and that's just it. I do feel that there's natural changes in temperature, and I don't doubt we do influence it, but
right. I mean, obviously we must to some degree.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of the people who are actually influencing the climate change are the ones getting on their little private jets to fly all over the country to tell me that I shouldn't drive my car to the fucking store. I think those assholes can kiss my ass.
This is what I can't get my liberal friends to understand. I'm totally for trying to get a grasp on all this stuff, but I feel like everything we're doing to fix it is aimed. It's little people who are frankly not hardly hurting anything are the only ones that that seem to get hurt. And Matt,
That's how it always is with everything. Like it doesn't matter if it's war. It doesn't matter if it's not cap. I was going to say communism. It doesn't matter if it's just a good old fashioned riot. Somehow the weaker ones are always the ones that end up getting hurt. Mm-hmm. It's never the intended actual people that are actually causing the problem to get it.
Yeah.
And governments go to war with each other. It's the regular folk that go, not
exactly.
And honestly, that thing should have passed Congress a long time ago. I think it was like in the 1800s. They were like, if you vote for war, you have to go participate in it, and it got shot down. No shot.
Oh,
I'm like, that would have been. You know what? There would be a whole lot less flag draped coffins if that shit had passed.
That's right.
But yeah,
that's right.
Oh my God, Ed Begley Jr. That's a name I haven't heard in 30 years. Holy shit! Is the only liberal who lives a green lifestyle. You know what? If he's gonna talk it, at least he fucking lives it. I'll give him kudos for that.
Yeah,
if somebody's gonna have a pile of shit, stand by your pile of shit for God's sake. So kudos to him for at least walking the walk, as they say. I think there's only like one movie I ever found him entertaining in. It was Transylvania 65000. I saw that movie like in theaters. My mom, because we lived in New Orleans at the time, and it's always fucking hot, or at least this time of year. And all the way till it's not hot anymore. And hello there, Biggerford. How are you? We're so glad to have you here. We were just chit-chatting a little before we get into the fucking news.
The news.
I have got to invite him up here at some point, or at least give him an idea of what stuff we're going to talk about and see if he wants to join. I don't want to sabotage people, because some people, they're like interested in kind of watching what I have to say about it. They don't necessarily want to have their name attached to the stuff I say. And I get that. That's fair. That's why, as much as I love Raquel, I never say, hey, do you want to come up while I talk about the news? Because that poor girl, like, anytime she hears me start to talk about it, she's like, oh, jeez. I'm like, no, I'm just talking about what we're going to talk about. I'm not getting into it. She's like, oh, okay. That poor girl. She's a fantastic example that she may not necessarily agree with what I say, but she pretty much just, when we're hanging out, it's not an issue. I don't give her shit about it. She doesn't give me shit about it. Like, that's the way it ought to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to keep that way.
You do. You, Raquel, as far as I know, everybody in the chat is a fantastic example of that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of times where folks were like, well, what about this or this? But they didn't say it like in an asshole way, though. Which is fair. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't mind questions. I don't mind opinions.
Yeah.
And I like
some of these points. Yeah.
And input from the chat, like when Cheatwood was bringing up the other day, he's always putting up really cool like topics and the thing, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, that's right, or oh, I forgot about that. I love that. That's always good. Like, add to it, absolutely.
He's making a point in there that I'd like to point out, that nuclear power is the simple and easy answer to carbon emission. Ever since 3 Mile Island, we've decided that industry's pariah.
Well, I mean, we look at what happened in Chernobyl. It's still not livable. Yeah, that's such a steep price to pay. If something goes wrong, the price is huge.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought. I mean, I'm not fond of the idea of them cutting corners and you end up with oil leaks and shit happening, which half the time I think is sabotage. But at least we have some sort of a bacteria that can kind of eat up the petroleum product a little bit. So you got at least some ways of cleaning that up. But nuclear, that's pretty hard to fucking clean. That's true. And so, yeah, like, ooh. And so that it's a bit scarier. Sorry. I've been having like a little hairball thing going on. If you hear it clear in my throat, it's not that I'm trying to rush anybody or, stop it. I just, like, kind of thing. Like,
have you heard of the people who are, like, throwing paint on priceless art things and stuff?
I have, and usually it's actually protected by glass, so the paint is actually safe.
Yeah, but
it's got shock value, though. It definitely has shock value. When I saw them do that to artwork, I was like, "Oh my God, Van Gogh!" And then realized, oh, okay, it's on glass. They're just okay. If they had destroyed something that was 2, 3, 4, or 500 years old, depending on what it is, I would have had an absolute shit fit. Oh my fucking God! I did hear about that. I think Ryan Athaway was talking about that. I stumbled across his channel. I heard him talking about it. And it was video because they weren't live anymore. I saw the video, And I was like, what the hell does, Stonehenge have to do with climate change? Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Exactly.
like that. I mean, if you're protesting, why don't you block the roads that people would take to travel up there that would putting gas? Like that would make more sense than actually destroying the fucking stones. Last I checked, and I mean, I'm no rock scientist or anything, but I don't think they put out carbon emissions out of the fucking stones. What the shit?
Yeah,
And
I'm
what's the
pretty
carbon
sure.
emissions for factories making that fucking paint they're buying? I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but let's do it,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm afraid I've not been very fond of. I'm a tree hugger in my own way,
Right.
but I'm not very fond of a lot of the protest groups because going back to what we just said, it often seems to me like they just hurt normal people in a
Right.
lot of cases, and the rich fat cats are just completely
Laughing at
fine.
our division, I'm sure. But like, well,
Um,
I don't mean that necessarily like the highways and stuff, Cheatwood. I'm referring to like I'm sure there's like some kind of little road or something that like the tour bus takes to take tourists up to Stonehenge. So like that little tiny road or whatever. That's what I'm implying. Not actual like huge like rows of traffic or nothing. I'm just saying if they want to protest at Stonehenge, maybe do something to block people from getting to Stonehenge if you're not wanting them to use gas emissions to get there or something. I don't know. I just think it still makes more sense than vandalizing Stonehenge. Like that just seems so stupid. Like they're
did
getting so extra now.
Oh yeah, no, I
Eco terrorist. I mean, eco. It seems to be a very interesting line between eco activist and eco terrorist, and it's like they're becoming like little environmental jihadists.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I'm not down with that. I mean, I'm almost always on the side of the protester, even if like I think maybe what they're protesting might be kind of dumb. It's at least their right to do so if they're not being stupid.
Right.
But
As long
you
as they're
start
not.
destroying like
Hmm.
priceless old artifacts. I mean, I have a problem with this because I get very twitchy at the idea of history being destroyed. Like when
Yeah.
ISIS was destroying stuff in museums, I had
Yes.
big fucking problems. People who go and like here I go again. Like when Israel took out a 800-year-old church building, I
Hmm.
fucking almost had a seizure. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding. Any super old stuff. If someone takes 200-year-old books and destroys them, I would just like start twitching. My face is like, you know, I can't.
Yeah. I do think Matt makes a good point here. Peacefully protesting is a right. Blocking the free movement of others is not peaceful.
I mean, I get it if they're on the side of the road holding up signs so that you can't miss, and
Yeah.
and I see,
Without seeing
I get
them.
that,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
and hell, even sometimes if it's not even a lot of traffic, maybe even blocking the road, maybe. But by God, get your stupid fucking ass off the concrete and out of the way if emergency vehicles are trying to come through. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, that makes me want us to start kicking hippies. It really does, because because if some old lady is trying to get to the hospital and you're blocking the ambulance, I kind of just want to start taking out your Achilles tendons. Like, fuck all of y'all for that.
Hmm.
Like, though, like that kind of shit is a problem. Like, if you're
Yeah.
staying on the side of the road and you're saying, uh, I don't know, like stop all cars or something, like whatever. I don't know. I try to think of something. That's fine. But yeah, when you start putting other lives and like the helpless people's lives in danger by like blocking ambulances, things like that, you're a fucking twat. You're an absolute
Yep.
douche canoe, and you are a oh, there's another word. My brain just cannot remember it. It's something my boyfriend calls people in traffic. It's hilarious. Putz nugget. That's it. Putz nuggets. And he doesn't even give people the finger. It is hilarious. He'll look at them and give them a thumbs down, like he's fucking
Yes.
disappointed in them. Like their parents are probably disappointed, like a thumbs down. And a couple times they even look like, wait, what? They double take and they're like, they thought they were seeing a middle finger and they realized they weren't. They're like, wait, what? And I thought that was the funniest fucking shit. He's like, Putz nugget. And I'm like, I love
That's
it.
fantastic.
It is. I love it. His road rage is fantastic sometimes.
Road
Oh, yeah, he
rage.
is a good Canadian. Yes, he is.
The good Canadian has entered the chat. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Um,
Oh, but yes. So I guess we'll get started with this because I made my little
Sure.
tabs over here. So this it, and like I said, there's no particular order. If I say, "Oh wow, that looks like something I want to talk about," it just goes up. So sometimes it's a no sequential order, or whatever that fancy word is, sequitur or some shit, whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
Anyway, hairball.
Mm.
China's largest state-owned food processor and grain dealer has reached a deal to take full ownership of a transloading grain facility on the Mississippi River across from St. Louis, Missouri. What in the blue fuck? Because I think we talked about this yesterday or the day before, because sometimes my days run together. But the last time I streamed, we were talking about China buying up shit and other places too. There's so many things that could happen here. I mean, if they are like super bad guys, if we have some Bond villains here, for instance, they could like add to contamination in the Mississippi River, damaging any kind of like flora and fauna from there on down.
Yeah.
And grain goes into so much shit. I think a lot of people don't even realize how much grain goes into shit. Even fillers, like some hot dogs, some really cheap ass hot dogs. If you look at it, hot dogs generally are not supposed to have carbs. I know that's a very fucking weird thing, but just follow me here. Some of the cheaper brands, you'll look and it'll have like 1 or 2 carbs. That's because of some of the little grainy type fillers they put into it. I mean, so the amount of food they could be damaging or poisoning or whatever they fucking GMO shit they might be doing, because God only knows what's happening. I mean, hell, we can't even trust our own companies. We can't even trust our own like food processors here. So so don't think I'm just going to give special trust to somebody who just came here. Like, fuck no, I don't trust anybody. Fuck everybody. But still, like, I can't help but feed into this a little bit. It seems like there's a pattern emerging here, and I'm a little concerned about it.
I would have thought that we would have learned from COVID that we need to stop over relying on China anyway.
Well, maybe, but guess who? Well, we helped fund them to do that.
Yeah,
so yeah, this goes back to fuck them. I can't trust anyone. But but yeah, I mean, I already have one country I can't trust. I don't want to make it more. Like, you know what I mean?
Is there really any country that we can trust? I'm trying.
I trust Ireland. I trust Ireland and Scotland, kind of. Scotland, kind of, because it's still kind of owned by the UK, and I don't trust them for shit. Right. But that might be my genetic memory or something. I don't know, but yeah, they're bastards. But and they're not doing so good for themselves right now either. So it's not like I'm just being an extra asshole. Like they follow their own rules and they're doing terribly. Like, we're not doing great either. But I could technically still go, like, protect myself on the street if I wanted to. Over there, you're absolutely fucked. Okay. So, at least got that going for ourselves. But and I can't help, now I'm suddenly looking at this. Do y'all remember back in, like, I think it was 2022, almost all of 2022, there was attacks on fucking food distribution and food processing. Yeah.
And it's funny.
There must have been 40 of them. Must have been fucking 40 of them. The plane crashed into 2 of them. 2 separate planes, mind you. It wasn't like a 2-for-1 hit. It was
and
like,
interestingly enough, we have a porous border. I don't think there's any connection there.
That certainly that's a separate situation. That's semi-separate situation that's going on. That has actually the porous border part has 2 or 3 purposes that are going on at the same time. Yep. We can probably get into that in a little bit, but. I'm thinking about all the food distribution centers that were getting damaged, and I don't remember how many. You know what? Fuck it. Let's Google that. How many food?
Even I had kind of started to forget that. I'm glad you reminded me.
Food processing centers destroyed in 2022, I think it was. Because it was on and off for a bit. They're saying unfounded claims. Bull fucking shit. I saw the footage. Fucking twats.
Google is a freaking communist organization.
All right. Food processing plant fires, plural, in 22 are not part of okay. They're not part of a what?
Oh, look at that on Snopes.
Oh, yeah. Well, Snopes can absolutely kiss my ass. Like, they just do whatever they're paid to do. Like, I don't trust them. Like, they've lost so much credibility. Anyway, so yeah, they're claiming that, like, there's no thing. You have that many food processing centers go to shit. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard not to see a pattern there.
Even if it is coincidental,
That's a weird coincidence.
Doesn't that tell you that our infrastructure has just gone to shit? Isn't that alone worth talking about and trying to fix?
I love this. No, people are not setting food. No, maybe not like regular people, but you don't usually have this many. I mean, this is like multiple fires. I think there was a plane crash into at least one of them. I mean, it's no evidence of U.S. plans aimed to disrupt food supply. Boy, they're all just parroting the same fucking shit. But again, but here, this one, I don't know when this came out. Why did more than 30 processing plants burn? That's just fucking weird. Like, are you gonna let me do this? Because
I'm sorry if a good friend of mine.
Okay, it's not gonna let me see that.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think I'm blocked from Quora because it's not the first time it wouldn't let me in. That's
weird.
Super weird. I don't know why. I have not talked any shit over there.
Matt's talking about fires on grain storage silos in China.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of those in general. Like that's a very common thing. My dad explained that it was because like a little bit of space in between the little grains, it kind of gets a little static charge with a.
Yeah, I know. Dad used to tell me that he was always he would smoke in the most dangerous areas, but he would not smoke in a grain elevator.
It's weird because like there's pictures of people pumping gas and smoking cigarettes because I guess gasoline. Oh, yeah. I guess gasoline wasn't flammable in 1964. I don't fucking know. But
okay, you can think I'm making this up or not, but I used to watch him like toss his cigarettes into frickin' open gas containers and shit.
Well, it's because it's the vapors that ignite. Although you can still burn the fuel, so I kind of think that was an old thing to do. Okay, so this person was talking about there being 94 food processing plants that were destroyed, and that was in 2022. So probably possibly more since then.
Right.
Well, that's a lot. So even if somebody's not going around doing this, what kind of fucking shit is accidentally happening here? You know?
Yeah. And even if that figure's not right, if 30 is the right figure.
Yeah, even if it's 30, that's a lot in 1 year. In 1 year, that is a lot. And that's a lot of food distribution disrupted.
And I get the government thinks we're stupid sheep, and they just want to placate us. And there's no evidence of anything going on. But yeah,
and I'd be like, my eyes are telling me a different story, there, sir.
I could even accept say 8 or 10.
They say 3 or more is a pattern. I think 30 is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I feel like 30 is an attack.
So
I wonder, do you think that maybe we're going to see more of these just food-owned processing buy-ups, and they're going to be buying up the areas that maybe got damaged and they couldn't replace? Maybe they're the ones that did it, or maybe our government did it to make way for this.
Well,
either way, it's absolutely scandalous.
It is.
I remember there was a time when we were concerned about the lead toys coming from over there, and we wouldn't buy them. Now, well, our food's fucked. I mean, more so than normal, I would say, because it's already decently fucked. I am convinced that sometime in 2020, they started putting something into almost all the food, because no matter where people were living, I know, or how they were handling stuff going on in 2020, almost everybody gained weight. It sounds weird, but like my daughter Catherine, because I was looking at her Facebook and I was just going back, just looking at stuff, And in 2020, she started gaining weight. I wouldn't say that to her. I mean, she doesn't look bad. I mean, she's a gorgeous girl. But I started gaining weight about the middle of 2022, and in Connecticut was way more lockdown on stuff than we were. So different environments, different lockdowns or lack thereof for basically us, all this, but yet all these different people from all these different backgrounds and everything gaining weight around the exact same time. I am convinced they were putting more fillers of some kind. You know how they put some kind of fillers in the feed to make the cows and the chickens bigger? Like what if, I'm not saying they're trying to eat us, but what if they're doing it to make us bigger and unhealthy? So I'm thinking that 2020, and that would be a good time to do it, because if a lot of people are staying indoors and not doing as much, then they might not realize that was what was being done to them. And so I think something was going on, because I looked at my Facebook and looking at that, and at the beginning of 2020, I was a little thick, but I had a decent jawline, you know what I mean? Near the end of 2020, I'm like, fuck me, I'm big as all outside. Jesus Christ. And it just, my food habits if anything, I was actually doing better with my food habits. I was not eating as much, and it still fucking happened. And I'm like, So I think this is happening to all of us, and it's being done obviously in the food processing plants, I'm guessing. I mean, you know how weird it is to look at meat and it tells me it's got some carbs, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, like, my beef is not supposed to have carbs, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and like some of the chicken doesn't even have a calories and carbs thing on it or anything. Like, I had a couple of things of chicken. I could go get it right now because I went to see how many calories it had and had no listing of it. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know they were allowed to do that.
There's all kinds of things going on that we didn't used to think were allowed to be done.
Well, that's true. Oh, let me go back over here. Oh, let me go over here. Come on, mouse, work correctly. Jeez. There we go. Okay. Let's move up a little so I can see everyone. Blue fuck sounds like a lost 70s. It does. I haven't said blue fuck in a long time. I think I got a little teased for it. But let's see. Chinese owns Smithfield. What is that? Smithfield. Is that a town? I'm guessing it's a town.
I think it's a town.
Did you all hear about the fires? Okay, yeah, you read that part. I did not, but having fires burning in China doesn't really surprise me. They've had a coal fire burning for the last 60 years, and nobody seems to want to admit that maybe where climate change is coming from, but whatever. Let's see. Oh, wait, I missed that for some reason.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's true, but sometimes you can at least find little older stuff, way back.
I'm finding it harder and harder to do that, though.
Well, that's why I was telling you about, like, if you want to look up something, look it up, and then just put in random years, like, 2002, just to see if you can maybe get something, because I think a lot of the information is still there. They're just making it tricky to find, so you have to try to trick it. I'm saying, right? I know, and I'm tired of our politicians allowing it. That they tell us, "Oh, be afraid of China. We must get rid of TikTok because of China." It's like, really? Because you're telling me I can't have TikTok because of China, but you're letting them buy up farmland everywhere. Somehow, I don't feel like you're being genuine about this.
Yeah, I would think the one would be, and I'm okay with people being concerned with TikTok, but I think if you're going to be concerned about the one, you surely ought to be concerned about the other.
And really, honestly, it's just the control of information. We've never had a war of any kind engage, and us have so much visual and stuff going on so quick. Like, the Iraqis were never able to post on the platform the war crimes and everything going on. We didn't find out till 20 years later.
Yep.
But now we're seeing it in real time. And even some politician, I wish I remember what his name was, because I'd love to pull it up if I had it handy. I'm sure I have it in my archives of fucking screenshots and shit. I have so much. I had to put it on a thumb drive because I feel like they're going to try to change history and scrub it and alter it. I felt like this was that moment I needed to do it. And I realized I think I get it from my dad, because my attic has a few boxes full of all kinds of newspaper clippings my dad cut from things going on, like the Murrah building bombing, with the newspaper saying at that time when AIDS first started coming out, he was cutting those because he thought this is going to be something. There's something to this, and cut that out. Sure enough, you're right. But yeah. And it was just, so apparently I think I got that from him, because I realized some things are so important, they must be documented, and they must be archived and kept from people trying to change history.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, we know they will.
Yeah, there's stuff that I think it's in a lot of the genetically modified soy, and there's a few other things they put in our food that are hormone disruptors. So yes, the testosterone is dropping on men. We're gaining weight. Even we're not eating I used to eat a lot more when I was younger. I don't eat nearly as much as I used to. And and this is the biggest I've been since having my daughter. I mean, because, I'd get to it to me, an outrageous weight, but then, it'd be gone in a couple of months after I had her. But good Lord, I've not been pregnant in 17 years. Right. And I'm as big as the weight I was. I mean, looking at me, I'm not as big, but the scale says I weigh as much as I did when I gave birth, damn near. I'm like, fuck. Well, almost. I was 190 pounds when I had her, and I'm 180 now.
I know this is the first since 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. This is the first time in my life I've ever had trouble with weight at all, and I noticed that I quit taking my statins for cholesterol, and I'm still too heavy, but I've probably lost 30 pounds since just by doing that. And
Wait, you stopped your medication and you lost weight?
yeah,
Those sons of
so
bitches.
yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't taking anything like that. I was on Klonopin for a long time because of panic issues, and then I started taking less and less. And actually, as I was taking less, that's about the time I was starting to gain weight. And
Mm,
and now I'm pretty much not on it. I mean, once every couple of months, I might have a little bit of a panic issue, and I'll take a half a pill, and I'm fine
mm-hmm.
for another couple of months. So it's at a much more manageable level than like having one every day. That was fucking awful. Jesus
I
Christ.
understand.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
big on taking medications unless I absolutely have to, but feeling like you're about to die and you don't know why it's a little hard to ignore.
it's
Depression,
really scary. No,
yeah,
it
depression, I
is.
can ignore depression. Like I can live with that. But feeling
Right.
like something terrible has just walked in the room and you can't see it, it's like that feeling where you just bristle up. Oh yeah, that's hard
Mm-hmm.
to ignore. Mm, absolutely, they are. And um, like I've recently started taking, and not very much. It's medication I'm not supposed to take a lot of it, and it is a low dose of blood pressure medication, and it is
Mm-hmm.
helping. But it's because I'm starting to feel like a heavy blood pressure feel in my chest and in my neck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like a couple of times I've gone to donate plasma, my pulse rate would not go below 110.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
like, fuck me, that's bad. And I'm
And
like, holy shit. And I've been trying to lose weight. I've been trying to cut down on what I eat.
mm-hmm.
And if I do
Mm-hmm.
pig out, it's on a salad. It's like, on the fucking bunny food because sometimes you just
Right.
want to like scarf food down. So I try to make sure it's, lean meat and like bunny food. So it's not bad. And like, I mean, my doctor, I talked him into it because he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, and he's like, you're not quite at the level of obesity. I'm like, do we really want me to get there though? And he's like, fine. So for like 3 or so months, he prescribed me, uh, uh, it's not fen, but it's like half of what fen was.
Mm-hmm.
Fentamine, something like that. And I lost only 8 pounds. That's all. I couldn't lose any more than that. I'm like, even with like doctor prescribed fentanyl, I couldn't fucking lose any more weight. And so it's got to be something they're putting in our food that we don't know
I
about.
I do think that. I mean, I don't doubt that it's some part of
Aw.
mine is probably my fault, but
Well, yeah, some of it. I mean, I'm not saying none of it is my fault. I mean, there's times when I do eat like something I probably shouldn't, but I still shouldn't have the weight I'm at because
oh, I
even if
understand.
I give up on my diet and I just eat whatever I want, my weight doesn't really change. If I
Yeah.
cut down on my calories, for a while there, I was doing my best to keep it under 50 carbs and under 1,200 calories a day. I
Mm-hmm.
still couldn't lose any fucking weight.
That's
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah,
So
that's
whether I'm
crazy.
restricting carbs and calories or whether I'm eating whatever I want, it's not changing. That seems fucking bizarre to me. That seems like it shouldn't even be physically possible.
Yeah, totally.
And so, like, something's up. Like, I'm not saying it's not all my, like, some of it's, sure, some of it,
Well,
but not all of it.
you probably manage your weight better than I am, but I just
I
do
don't know if I
feel
have a
like
say in
it's
it.
strange that I am just knocking off one of my medicines and I lose 30 pounds.
That is so
Um,
fucking, yeah, that is odd. And I'm having to start taking some blood pressure medication because,
yeah.
like, have you ever been, like, upside down and you feel all that pressure going to your chest, your
Hmm.
neck? That's what it's like. And I'm
Yeah,
like, ooh, that's not good.
it's been doing that to me lately too.
So I'm
I
taking
need
like
to.
12.5 milligram of I don't know how it's let me see. It goes by HCTZ. It's a hydrochlorothiazide. I
Mm.
can't, that's a lot of words. That's like 13 letters. That's a lot. But let
Yeah.
me see real quick. uh I have my camera down here just so people can, oh,
Medicines. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
it's hard to fucker focus. Jesus. But yeah, it's a long ass word though. That's a lot of fucking letters it's got there. So I put a marker to make it a little easier. So like, I try to have my medication marked with like a marker, so that way if something was going on, they can look at it and see it big and clear. It's like maybe someone who doesn't know
Right.
what it is, they will know what it is. Like if I say, hey, can you go hand me my blood pressure medication? They'll see, oh, okay, I know what it is because it you know it's put in simple terms. I put it in marker. So like my Lasix, I put it in marker. So it says Lasix on it if I was to take that. One time I took the wrong pill. Everything is like pretty low dose. So I was fine, but it still freaked me out that because it was a little dark and the pill was the same size, but one's a light blue and one was white. Like I was like, oh, and that scared me because God, that could happen to anyone. Oh, hello, Mima Flowers. How are you? I know, right? That was a lot of letters. It was. Oh, sorry. Just realized. There you are. My bad. How are you? Welcome. Yeah, I think she'll be okay with my topics probably because she's coming over from Brett's channel, and Brett is way more honest about some of this. Well, the way he expresses it, he's way more honest about how he expresses it than me. I at least try to go in there a little subtle, like, well, maybe this is going on. Where he's like, those motherfuckers are trying to kill you. I'm like, God damn, bro. I mean, he's right though. He's right.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I know.
It's always good to come in from different angles. He comes in with a little more tough angle. I'll come in maybe a little softer angle, a little bit.
Yeah. Me, I've just got too many friends on too many different sides of the aisle, and it's there was a time when you could disagree with people. I don't know what's happened to that.
Well, honestly, everything's gotten more serious. I mean, things were there was some serious stuff in the 90s, but it wasn't quite as catastrophic as it is now. And I do understand judging people by their politics to some degree, depending on what it is, because there are some things that, like a person that votes for or an ideology they vote for. It tells you about them. If they think it's completely okay to kill a bunch of unarmed men, women, and children, that kind of tells me the kind of person they are, and I don't think I want any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If they think, well, we love our Constitution, we don't want any foreign interference. Well, except for, I'd be like, no, except, no, no, we're a constitutional republic, or we're fucking not, by God, and there's not room for. I saw something. I hope to God I still have it up because. Actually, I do have it up. Well, part of it. I'll show it to you in a bit. But let's jump on this real quick. So apparently there was a cluster munition strike. Russian civilians on a beach. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming it's a type of weapon. I don't know. U.S. recon drone had scouted the area. 5 are dead, including children. 124 have been reported injured. 5 of them children who are in intensive care. U.S. weapons, U.S. intel, and Russians dead. The Russians are going to fuck somebody up for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if this is propaganda, because I do favor Russia a little bit, so I'm willing to say that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is propaganda because it's a very short clip. There may be other footage elsewhere, but it does seem shitty to go after a beach full of people. But I'm willing to bet that half the people who are going, well, I don't know why they would go after a beach full of people, are perfectly okay with civilians being killed somewhere else at the same time for some fucking reason or other.
Yeah.
But, but apparently that's been going on. And this is a neat little website. Apparently, Flight Radar 24. Apparently, unless you can click on planes and see their identification. Sometimes they don't have identification, which I find to be CIA type shit. That's some CIA shit or something right there, But I've checked this website out a few times, and it's kind of neat. So y'all are welcome to go and check out Flight Radar 24 and just look at different parts of the world. Look at the Middle East, look at Russia. You can click on planes, and if they're a regular passenger plane, they'll tell you where they're going, where they're arriving, all that shit. It's kind of neat. And some of the planes are kind of suspicious, and they'll tell you that's the United States Air Force, this, that, or the other. Pretty cool. So y'all are welcome to go check that out. So I thought I'd share that tidbit with y'all. Let's see what's next. This. So some lady posted this the other day, or So it says America needs to relearn 7 Noahide laws, and of course I'm like, what in the blue fuck is that shit? So I went and looked, and let me see. Let's see if I have it on my Facebook. Yeah, I found that a little. All right, let me pause it here. So I didn't put her name up there because, I don't want her to think I'd try to send people after her.
Well,
But
right.
it says what some of the rules are: do not curse God, do not worship idols, do not engage in illicit sexual relations. I'm not sure what they consider illicit. Do not murder, which is already illegal, mind you. Do not steal, also illegal. Do not eat flesh off living animals. Well, that's called animal cruelty and it's a felony, so obviously not. Then this silly twat posted a justice system which preserves the law and order must be set up. And of course, that's why I wrote anybody who thinks Noahide justice system should replace our legal system is an enemy of the Constitution and as traitorous as those who would want Sharia justice system here. Most of the crimes listed are already illegal. And the woman who posted this is an avid Trump supporter. She's supposed to be a constitutionalist. So how the hell are you talking about a justice system, a separate or paralleling or whatever justice system to be set up to enforce laws that at least half of them are already illegal any fucking way? You are a traitor to the Constitution if you want a separate justice system set up like this.
That is weird. I mean,
That is
what
weird.
is she trying to say? I don't.
I guess she's probably one of those people who probably thinks Trump is the new Messiah for all I fucking know. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're just thinking, well, I'm going to be extra Christian-y. Like, no, there's a limit, people. There needs to be. And she's using the stuff that went on in 2020 as a reason to have this. And I'm like, but that's the whole point. The point of those protests going out of control was to cause a disruption and to make people want to change how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's what, and she's falling into it. She just doesn't know she's falling into the other side of it. One side of it is saying defund the police, and the other side is like, let's turn it up a notch. And they're both fucking wrong, in a way. They're both fucking wrong. There's things that our justice system needs to tweak and fix. Yes,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
But you want to put up Noahide justice system? I would set a bitch's car on fire. Are you fucking kidding me? Vandalism. Oh God, because not. Oh yeah, that's right. I also am trying to raise money. I forgot about that. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was about to say, like, because I was thinking I don't have the money to buy that water gun I wanted to do the vandalism with.
Right.
And then like speaking of which, I'm also trying to raise money for this too. I'm like, fuck, there's so many things, and not enough time.
And Sashi popped in to say hi.
Sashi, how are you? Oh, somebody sent me some love. Oh right.
Hey.
Who is it? Shit. Oh, Matt Cheatwood, you sweetheart. Thank you. Oh, you are so lovely. Thank you. Because like last I saw it was 10, and I was like, wait, 30? What? I was like, wait a minute. I was a little confused there for a second. I was like, did I not do that? But I will drop it. I'm trying to copy the link. My mouse doesn't like to move like it's supposed to. So I was going to put it in the little chat so other people could see it real quick. That was so sweet of you, Matt Cheatwood. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oodles and oodles. Let me go back up. So let's see. Okay. I had a friend of mine of 20 years get into a short disagreement about World War II and haven't seen her since. I gotta ask, what was that disagreement? Because
Yeah, I'm
like,
curious
it was
too.
a question of fact, or was it like an opinion? Because I mean, I must admit, I'm curious because some facts can be looked up. Well, I mean, sometimes what hasn't been scrubbed off the internet, but you know,
Right.
I'm curious though. Like, that's wild. My government is at least more honest. Everyone knows they make people disappear. Well, we know. Well, yeah, I mean, we got that going on. But then they have the audacity to gaslight us, and the people in charge rarely ever deny it. Well, that's terrible, but at least they give you the decency of not lying to you. Having your government fuck you over and then gaslighting you is just really offensive. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Post the 10 Commandments in all public schools in all 50 states. If you push God out of the schools, then Almighty can't protect. I don't feel that it is necessarily the school's business to be, promoting or denying God either. I feel it's the family's job. That's why they had family Bibles. It was the family's job to do that. It's not the school is supposed to teach kids their math and their colors, all this. It is not. I don't feel that personally, because the more personal stuff that you expect the school to teach, the more influence they will have on your children. And besides, what if they're not even interpreting the Bible correctly in the first place?
Yeah,
Like, you're going to have a
my
whole lot of
fear.
mess to undo. I think the school
Yeah.
should mind its fucking business and teach
I'm-
the kids. I don't think it should have, I don't think it should have. I mean, I don't. If somebody wants to have, if a group besides at school, they want to have like a little prayer group, they should be allowed to, yes. But I don't think the school should be promoting or not promoting it. They should be indifferent to it, is what I feel like. They shouldn't be fighting. If people want to have prayer in school, the school shouldn't fight it either. But
I'm
like,
totally
or
okay
at least
with them.
everybody get together and vote what they want. The school,
Yeah,
but the school
precisely.
itself is just a building, and the teachers are supposed to go there, teach the kids whatever history I guess is allowed by the system, math and whatnot, proper math, not weird ass shit they try to teach people for a while there. But yeah, I feel it's the families and the community's job, not the school, on that one. I don't think if people decide to have a prayer, I don't think they should be removed from the school, obviously. But
Right.
I feel that that's one the school should take. Here in Oklahoma, the superintendent, sorry, Ryan Walters, has been fighting tooth and nail, blindly so, that he has been fighting tooth and nail to have religion put back in the schools. And he's done so very carelessly. So now the Church of Satan and some other people have said that they are going to be sending chaplains to the schools to volunteer.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't careful, because you remember that monkey claw thing I was talking about, where you get your wish, but you're going to get it in a fucked up way.
Yes.
He did that. People tried to warn him that if you don't do this very carefully, you're going to open the door for all kinds of weird fucking shit, and Hare Krishnas will be the least of your problem. And sure enough, now you have the Oklahoma Church of Satan willing to send chaplains, which I didn't even know they fucking had chaplains, to be honest. I mean, I never cared about their church in the first place, so I never really looked into it. But
the only thing I ever knew about them was I knew like a tiny little bit about Aleister Crowley.
oh, he's such a fucking weirdo.
He is weird, and
I don't know how many of them actually subscribe to his silliness.
I think a lot. I mean, the
I've never asked. I don't think I know anybody who's gone to that
talked
place.
to a couple. I never became friends really with any, but I
I
knew
would feel a
a
little
couple,
weird.
and they were really just more like atheists who were trying to strongly protest everything. Is really all they were. But those were just the ones I talked to, so don't take that as official doctrine or anything. I do know that the Satanic Bible has they have 9 satanic statements as opposed to 10 commandments, and I can't remember what they are, but it's just basically, like I say, I don't. I think a lot of them really don't believe in a God at all. They just.
I'm not entirely sure. Like, I've heard a couple of different things. I've heard that they don't really believe in anything, except people minding their own business, which sounds like almost like a libertarian religion, humorously. And then some that believe that Satan actually isn't the bad guy. He's actually just got a bad shake from their history writing. He actually isn't that bad. So, but either way, though, that's still something the Christians aren't going to like. And they basically have opened the door for this to happen. And so, yeah. And, also, the second part of it goes, if you push God out of the schools, then the Almighty cannot protect children from gun violence. My issue there is I'm not sure if he fell asleep at the wheel when people had church shootings, though. So I'm not sure that. I think in some ways, I know this is going to sound bad, but I'll explain. I don't think God takes things as seriously as we do. And the reason being is because he's probably looking at the bigger picture. I'm not saying any of this is okay, but you ever if you got kids and you can't micromanage every single thing they do, but if something like some kid gets his candy stolen, that kid is crying. It's like the end of the world to that kid. But as a parent, you're looking at it's not the end. It's the bigger picture you'll see. And so when I say that, it's not that he doesn't care. It's he's seen it from a different view. So things that are catastrophic to us may not be catastrophic to him, which is a little concerning because it's the shit we're dealing with. So, but we have honestly, I think half the time it's people that was on like a watch list, and they were able to get away with getting a gun. And I don't get me wrong, I think almost everybody should have a gun, and I'll even explain that even certain felons I think should, but they should be specially neutered because if you, I got like 20 thoughts trying to come out at the same time, so I'm stuttering. Sorry. Sorry. All right. So, like, let's say somebody did some gang violence or robbed a bank, and then they spent some time in jail, like they were supposed to, paid their dues. They get out, and maybe they're, some people from their old life is trying to come and get them for whatever. Have a gun inside your house that you can protect yourself if they try to bust in and kill you.
Yeah.
But if you leave your property, the weapon will disable. So you can't go out and find somebody and shoot them. You know. So I think at least with training wheels, almost everybody should have Second Amendment at the very, their rights, even if it's just training wheel style, like they can't leave their property with it.
Right.
But I think everybody should be able to protect their homestead, even if they have a felony. And so, and I think, especially if they're properly trained, and they have to be quite well trained, they either have police or actually, I prefer veterans. I'm not a fan of cops. I think there's a certain type of people who become cops. There's different kinds of people who become cops, but there's a certain type that stay that way. Because a lot of good cops and honest cops actually leave the department because of the corruption. So I would prefer, people who used to be in the infantry and all this stuff, to have a job guarding the schools. Because I have not yet heard of a school shooter taking out a couple of veterans going in the door. Haven't heard of it. Right. And I really think that a lot of it is the feds allowing this to happen so they can push an anti-gun narrative.
Oh, be careful. You'll be labeled another Alex Jones. Oh, no.
Well, I'm saying, I didn't say that the shooting didn't. I know. I'm just saying, like, I didn't say Sandy Hook didn't happen. I'm saying maybe it was allowed to happen. It was allowed to happen.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
Amen.
Honestly,
Absolutely. No, they will not. No. My biggest danger probably is the fucking government, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because usually you're just dealing with people, like, you can deal with them. But right now, we have a government that has basically said if we rebel, they'll send F-18s or F-15s or F-fucking somethings at us. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I mean, the tanks and some of those armored vehicles, I could probably disable those because they have, like, lines and what is it? Yeah. Hydra.
I noticed stuff's getting bad now that the World War II vets are almost all gone.
They're pretty much almost all. There's almost none of them left. I mean,
pretty
there's
sure
not. Yeah.
They could have taken care of a lot of really bad crap.
Well, your Vietnam veterans are also going out, and they know how to do some pretty down and dirty shit too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. But yeah, the World War II vets definitely would have been good. But I think, the youngest one's going to be like 90.
Yeah.
Actually, fuck, no, probably older than that. Come to think of it, because I don't math. Let me see my shit for a minute. Fuck, hold up. Let me go get a calculator real quick. I don't want to sound like a total idiot. At least
the only ones I can remember are Jimmy Carter and Dick Van Dyke.
Okay, yeah. Actually, they would be over that because if someone is 90 now, they were born in 1934. So they would be too young to fight in World War II. So they're going to have to. They're going to have to be at least close to 100, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
So there's pretty much almost none left. And yeah, so your best chance would be like some down and dirty Vietnam vets, and that's the ones that didn't lose a leg. And actually, they were treated so bad, I don't think any of them are in any kind of condition, that mentally or physically, to fight. They might know how to do a few things. So your next best option might be people who know what a piece of shit the government is from the Afghan and Iraq war.
Mm-hmm. And I've talked to a couple of those, but I just don't know that there's enough to make a difference.
Okay, the youngest is 95. He probably lied about his age to get in.
Yeah.
which happened a lot.
It did. It sure did.
Which, I mean, I get that. Like, I appreciate their gumption and whatnot.
Let's see.
I mean, it's a bit heartbreaking, the idea of someone so young seeing that terrible stuff.
Yeah, truly. If they were born in 29, they could have been 16, I think. in 1945. So yeah, they'd have
So
probably been
they'd be catching the tail end
right
of the
about their
war.
age. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so I saw this. Now, this isn't news per se, but this guy is a little propagandist, whether he means to be or not. Frankfurt, Germany is an epitome of open borders, destroying a once beautiful destination for locals and tourists. So he's showing this, and it's this mess right here. So, me being me, I decided to look at this a little closer. So I'm seeing a bunch of red umbrellas over here. Actually, let me see if I can make this a little bigger for everybody. So, and let me hide that stupid thing right there. I see these little red bags. I know that's a silly thing. And this. He's like, I've never seen anything like this. And I'm looking at this. I'm seeing these little, I don't know, can anyone see my mouse? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure how it looked to everybody else. So I'm looking at this, and there was one or two of those over behind him, and there's another one over here. And they're trying to make it look like immigrants had done this.
But you really don't know who the heck did it.
Oh, I do, though. So I'm looking at these, and these little beer bottles. You got the white part of the label up here, and another part of the white label down here. And so I'm looking at the different type of beer bottles and this and that. This one looks almost like Corona. I don't think it is Corona, but it's similarly styled as a Corona. And so, yeah. And I'm looking at these little banners up here and everything. And I realized that this young little propagandist right here, now the kid in the video didn't say anything. He just said he's never seen anything like this. I think he doesn't get out often. But he's saying that this is an open border situation. Well, guess what it actually is? It's the Euro 2024 soccer thing. Yes, because I went and I was looking, and give me a second. Fuck this mouse, I swear to God. Same kind of bottles. Little white label up there and the little white label. So it's the same kind of building style in the background. Same kind of beer bottles. It's the after party of a fucking soccer match, which is common to see that kind of disaster.
Yeah.
So this kid was trying to make it sound like, oh, no, don't get me wrong. Germany might be having immigration issues. Sure. I'm not saying they're not. But, you know, if the immigrants are doing stuff, and take pictures of it, but don't post something that's an after party of a soccer game and then claim it was done by immigrants.
Yeah.
Unless you're counting people coming in from other European countries for this festivity. Because, hold on a second. My God, he can't fucking do anything work in this fucking bitch. Yep. Small white label, larger white label. Same kind of beer bottles. Same kind of buildings. So, yeah, it was an after party of the 2024 Euro match. So that's what it is. Now, again, I'm sure they do have, like, immigration crime and stuff. I'm not discrediting that. I'm just discrediting that particular tweet done by that particular... that. That's what fucking... Those red bags. Those little red bags I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those people aren't exactly wearing turbans. You know what I'm saying? Or what the fuck ever. Yeah. No, that guy right there, that dude looks like he's fucking Irish or Scottish or Welsh. So he looks like he's ready to fight everybody. Like, I mean, okay,
there's a pretty good mess on the ground all around.
Yeah, so. Those beer bottles, those little red bags, that's what, and that tweet was trying to make it sound like it was immigrants that just did that to that area. Like, no, yeah, well, I mean, there are people from other countries. Right. I mean, there are people from other countries.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's Europeans mostly in that crowd. I mean, there's a few people who look like they might not be originally European, sure, but yeah. So I just that propaganda silliness like this guy's doing right here. The epitome of open borders, destroying once beautiful destination for locals and bitch. It was the fucking tourists that did it. Yeah, that's the same little red bags and that same design. It's the same. Oh, actually, that building right there. That building right there was in one of the pictures. Yeah. So, gosh, these fucking propagandists. I love looking at these pictures and videos and being like, trying to find, like, look for little things and be like, this motherfucker's lying.
Yeah.
And again, I do understand there's crime going on in Europe with open border immigration. I'm not saying there's not. So, like, I don't want to
Well,
come
if
back
he
to
was
the
just
comments.
wanting to make a point that people are just way less respectful than they used to be, then he would
Right.
have a valid point. But
Well, yeah, no doubt.
yeah, this has nothing to do with immigration whatsoever.
Exactly. So he's a little shit ski for that one. He's got 175,000
Yes.
followers, and he's sitting there feeding them this bullshit. Like, again, I understand that there is, like, well, I've been hearing about things going on in, like, Denmark and shit where, like, immigrants are, like, beating the shit out of, like, uh, a person, like, normally lives there. Like, I'm not saying that's not happening, but I feel like you fuck up your argument and your leg to stand on when you feed people this bullshit right here and you're not giving them honest, fair footage.
Yeah.
And I think that ends up discrediting people's arguments.
I see that Hypnotic is hosting right now. I never I never go to his place only because
never do either. I feel
community's
bad.
so large. I do too. I'd kind of like to go there more often. He's a great YouTuber.
Oh, this was from the other day. My bad. Sorry, that was from the other
Map
day.
reveals best place to live in the U.S. if nuclear war breaks out.
Oh yeah, we'll be getting to that in a second too. But yeah, so this one, I thought this was interesting. Trump spreads violent rhetoric by suggesting migrants might fight for sport. I have to say that does sound a little fucked up. But I'm curious like how he said it, and because I mean, in general, it doesn't sound very.
I would too.
But because they like to take anything he says and try to. I mean, he does some fucked up shit. He does say some fucked up shit.
He does.
They take something that he wasn't even like saying it the way they're saying he did, and then they just turn it into something outrageous.
Yeah. With respect to my liberal friends, for me, the last straw was that report where he was saying that it's going to be a bloodbath, and now they're trying to say that that the right's taking all of the Biden clips out of context. Well,
they're doing it to each other. They're doing it to each other. Yeah. Although Biden gives them a lot more to work with. Holy fuck! But
he does.
He does. Like, and he does that weird thing where anybody who's ever raised a toddler knows that stance. It's like he's shitting himself right there in front of everybody. And Biden is just such a goof. Oh, I have food. Ooh, food has arrived. Ooh, I love you. I got Panda Express brought to me. I love you, honey. I got egg rolls.
I live in this small town. Nice. And we've got one Chinese place out here, but they take a month off during the summer because it's a small town. They can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was hoping that they would be open today, but or at least when I drove by, they were closed. So, not that you need or want to know this, but the chronic fatigue just beat my tail this weekend. I really didn't get much done.
I'm sorry. I feel like sometimes I have that. Maybe I just have mental chronic fatigue. I don't know. All right. So,
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Trump.
Yeah. Did anyone ever? All right. So this is Trump talking. Did anyone ever hear of Dana White? Trump asked his speech asked during his speech at the Faith and Freedom Coalition Road to Majority. He said, I said, Dana, I have an idea. Why don't you set up a migrant league of fighters and you have regular league fighters, and then you will have a champion of your league. And these are the greatest fighters in the world. Fight the champion of the immigrants. I think the migrants the migrant guy might win. That's how tough they are. So it's a weird way to compliment, but they were saying that the migrant guy, they're really tough. They're, he's implying they're really good fighters. I mean, I think it depends on their upbringing, obviously, because people aren't necessarily a born fighter.
Yeah.
But right here, they say he's spreading violent rhetoric, but he's implying, I guess, it does sound a little bit like he's hinting at people fighting for, like, to be able to stay here, but but he's also saying that they're probably really good fighters and really good at it. So it's like, it sounds almost like borderlines on a racist compliment, but it's not violent. I wouldn't call that violent rhetoric, though.
No, I don't either.
I mean, you're talking about fighters in general, so I mean,
but
I mean, it's kind of
I would
violent because they're talking about fighters. So, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of, but not in the way he's not calling on them to be murdered or anything. Jesus.
Yeah, he's
So,
calling them to fight in the MMA. I mean,
I mean,
to
I
me,
don't,
it's a
yeah,
kind of a stupid thing to say, but it's
it
also
is,
kind of
but I don't
stupid
call
that
it
you
violent
pointed
rhetoric.
out.
Yeah. It's a
No,
conversation
I
about
agree.
violence, but it's not violent rhetoric. And I don't think they know
Yeah,
the
and I
difference. And
mean,
that's why I like to look at
he's
this.
he's
Yeah.
friends with Dana White. I
I
mean,
did not know that.
that that's just known. Yeah, he's. I didn't know that until fairly recently. I don't know a lot about Dana White, but I listened to an interview that he did with one of these YouTubers. It's all famous and spiffy, and he just talked about well, maybe he was full of shit in that interview, but if you believe
Right.
it, he's fairly decent friends with Trump, and
Hmm.
I know that Ben Johnson. I subscribe to his channel. I'm actually backing off on watching it because it's pulling me too far right wing. But Dana White's always got Trump going to the fights, and the crowds just go freaking nuts. So it just is what it is. He happens to be popular in that demographic, and if they don't like that, maybe they should try to appeal to that demographic. And I would assume they probably don't want to care about it. So
All right. Well, right here does sound a little more grr.
oh,
But he says the remarks are part of Trump's border pattern of using dehumanizing language when discussing immigrants, which during his election cycle has included broadly portraying immigrants as violent criminals, as saying that they are poisoning the blood of our country. See, that sounds a little meaner than what that first part was they were talking about. Like that, I mean,
I would like to, yeah, especially after the bloodbath thing. I would like to hear the whole context of that. Not
yeah,
to defend Trump at all,
right.
but I've learned the hard way that they'll take, and the right does it too. I know that they've taken Obama speeches where he was talking about people who don't believe in freedom and blah 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 blah, and they cut up the video so it sounds like he's saying that he doesn't believe in freedom,
Right. And they do that to each other.
But they do it to each other. Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like that tweet I was talking about, that if you present something in a dishonest way, it's going to make me have a hard time believing the next thing you say. Because and so when they do this to Trump, it makes me want to look at the whole thing, because I'm like, okay, and what context was that? I mean, there's times when he says something and I can't think of a context where like that's okay. Like sometimes he is a little outlandish, but if he does it enough, then just report on that. Don't make stuff up, because then I'm less likely to believe you, and I'm more likely to believe him.
Yeah. Well,
and so
it's like this. I'm not questioning you at all, but I do question the people who wrote this article, because what did Trump say? Again, not to defend him at all. He does say some stupid shit, but
if he is truly guilty of what you're saying he did, then let's make it nice and clear.
Yeah, because the whole bloodbath thing with
that was all over TikTok, and I was like,
that
what
was
the
bullshit.
Fuck? Yeah, exactly.
That was complete bullshit.
I the wording was terrible. Like, I get that, but you're making it sound like everybody's just gonna die, and it's like you were talking about the car manufacturers. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I feel it's very colorful to just talk about the car manufacturers. That's a big difference.
Yeah, if you listen to that speech, and it's not a great speech. I'm not claiming it's definitely not Kennedy rhetoric, but he's clearly talking about a strong economic hurting for people who work in car factories. That's very clearly what he's talking about.
Right, and certain news outlets are going to make you think he's talking about having everybody killed or something. Like, it's insane.
Well, and that's what I heard from nearly every one of my liberal friends. Oh, he's calling for a bloodbath. He's calling for an insurrection. No. Respectfully, no. That's not what he's doing. He's just a dumbass who doesn't know how to hire a good speechwriter. I work cheap. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective has come in. How are you doing today?
Who is it? Sorry, I had to leave the room for a second.
No, that's okay. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Oh
He
my
says he personally
goodness,
thinks,
Tommy!
yes, if
Oh my
anyone is
goodness.
dumb enough to believe a politician, they're dumb enough to believe any kind of rhetoric.
Amen. Amen. Oh,
And
yeah. I mean, I heard the recording for that, and I have to admit it was a little tacky, but he wasn't talking about just attacking women without consent. He was talking about wanting to get with this woman, but he couldn't get with her. Like, she was not having it. So, as inappropriate as it was, he wasn't talking about taking away consent or anything.
yeah,
And so, like, I mean, granted, it was, and I can't help but ask questions about it because, I mean, granted, it was kind of weird, but my thing is, the person who recorded it held on to that recording for 10 years. Like, what the fuck? Like, that seems
mm-hmm.
weird. Like, that's a weird long con there. Like, someone
There's a
records,
lot of weird
they wait
shit
10
that's
years
gone
to
on.
release that recording. I'm like, what? And all it was saying like stupid shit about women. Like, I mean, if he was
Yeah,
talking about actually sexually assaulting people, yeah, that would be fucked up. But
yeah,
he
yeah,
was,
yeah,
he was
yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to get bitches to hook up with him, and they weren't having it. That's still a consent thing. Like, they just weren't going for it, And then he was like, all right, and so basically it was just him getting turned down, really. And
Yeah.
like, there's nothing
Well,
illegal about that.
well, there
It's
shouldn't
not.
be,
It's
but
nothing legal about trying to hook up with someone they're just not interested, and you're like, all right, like, yeah. I mean, if he had, confessed to like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
raping
yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
yeah, that would have
yeah,
been really,
yeah,
that would be
yeah,
something. But I again still have to question the motive of the person who recorded it and then held on to it for like 10 years before releasing it. Like, what the fuck is
Well,
that shit?
I and again, I'm
So
going
I
to
feel like
stomp
question the
on my
motives of everybody.
liberal friends a little more. The whole Stormy Daniels thing just
That was so fucking weird.
smells to high heaven to
That's
me.
such a fucking weird situation. It really was. Is. It still
Yeah.
is a fucking weird situation. Because, I mean, as long as we've had politicians cheating on their wives and banging chicks and then, like, trying to pay them off. I mean, we are dragging Trump across the coals harder for bribing Stormy Daniels than we dragged Teddy Kennedy for killing his pregnant mistress by letting her
Yeah.
drown in Lake Chappaquiddick or whatever the fuck that thing was called.
100%.
Like, at least Stormy Daniels was still alive. He didn't kill her. Fuck.
Yeah,
And no one held
exactly.
her down and forced her. She was like, hell yeah, I like this money. Hell yeah, I'll hook up with you.
Yeah.
So two consenting adults had a business transaction, two of them technically, because, getting some and then, paying her to shut the fuck up, which, fair.
Mm-hmm.
But, we didn't go this hard for Ted Kennedy when he killed his
No.
side piece. And
Nor
so
did we
I
go
remember
this.
my
Yeah.
dad telling me about that when I was a kid. Well, when I say kid, I mean, like, almost anybody under 18 is a kid. I was like 15 or
I
16.
learned.
He was explaining to me how shitty the politicians were, and he was telling me that tidbit
Mm-hmm.
about Ted Kennedy. I was like, oh, damn, no wonder you don't like him. He's a dick.
I
So my
learned
dad,
about it from. Yeah. Yeah. I
oh,
learned about
oh,
it from Rush
yes,
Limbaugh.
yes, correct. So I was trying not to choke on my food. Correct, yeah.
Oh,
Paying
yeah,
extortionist is
don't.
not a crime. Being an extortionist is the crime. Correct, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, yeah. So is some of his like money exchanges up on the up and up? Nah, maybe not, but they're not fucking illegal. Not savory, sure, but again, and I wouldn't think it was a witch hunt if they went after every politician who was paying off bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what is his name? Bill Clinton paid what, $85,000 to that weird looking
Yeah.
chick, that Paula, whatever the fuck her
That
name was.
that's the thing that I almost brought that up in my own stream, but I decided that it was
Yeah, I think he paid
dangerously
like
close to.
85 grand, and I think he paid another woman,
Mm-hmm.
however much he paid that thicker
But
blonde lady, whatever her name was.
but then
Like,
whenever you bring it up to a liberal, all they'll say is, "Well, you can't justify Trump by saying that we did something bad." I'm not
yes,
trying to
yes, you
justify
can, because
Trump.
what are you basing Trump being bad on then?
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to justify Trump. I'm trying to say that you set this standard.
Yeah,
Your
exactly,
side set this standard.
exactly. Well, sort of.
Why are you not? Why does it not apply to the other side?
That's
That's what I
exactly.
don't understand.
Yeah, because if you're singling somebody out for doing what everybody else is doing, that is a fucking witch hunt.
Yeah, 100%. I know it's probably naive and unrealistic of me, but I don't like
Hypocrisy.
rules applying differently to different people. I've never liked that. Never
Hypocrisy makes me want to like, I don't know, put a firecracker in a politician's mailbox.
have. West 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 Cagle is saying, "Wait, the liberal side has standards." Well,
Well, kind of. But when he said standard, I was like,
here's the trouble. Here's the trouble when we're talking about the liberals. If if we're discussing the people at the top, I'm 100% okay with just going after them.
mm-hmm.
Both barrels blazing. But the trouble is, we've got good people and even intelligent people who voted for these dumbasses.
I would debate some of that a little bit.
Well,
But,
maybe so, but
no,
I
go ahead. Go
mean,
ahead.
but no, I mean, these are good friends of mine. I mean, they've helped me through really hard times. They are legitimately good people. Now, I fear this weird myopicness in them. I'm sure they think the same thing about me. Uh, what they don't seem to realize is I'm not saying any of this in support of Trump. I'm not. It's very likely I'm not going to vote for Trump.
I'm probably not
But
either.
but
I do
that's
like
not the
the
point.
Dr. Shiva, though. Dr. Shiva
I
looks fucking hilarious. I
I
want
do
to play
too.
that clip for everybody. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
find it real quick, because that is fucking. I have never heard the C word used so much in anyone. But I will try to find that for you. Actually, you know what? I'll probably find it on my TikTok faster. So let me hold on. Let me dump the soy sauce in my food real quick, because I'll just spill it if I don't. So I'll just do that real quick. Anyway, let me get my TikTok out, because I can find shit faster there than I can on Google, which tells you something right there.
Yeah, which one's really the most controlled?
Wow, I mean, they're definitely Shiva. Okay, this is some funny ass shit. All right, so trigger warning to anyone who is very pro-Israel, but you get the general idea of this. The honesty of this man is this fucking maniacal. Oh my god! All right, let's see. Oh, I hit present and not this. So let me do that. So make sure the volume's up.
Some very interesting research done on why people live long. All the A-list actors signed that petition. Why? Because they have to suck Zionist cock, as I say. That's the way we should call it. They all have to suck Zionist cock. Every presidential candidate except me sucks Zionist cock. And it doesn't sound presidential, but in fact it's very presidential. Because I represent the American worker who does not want us to be cocksuckers of Zionism. We have to recognize that Donald Trump sucked Zionist cock.
And this dude next to him, he's just blinking his eyes like he's too stunned. He's too stunned to speak. He barely moves. He just blinks like he's trying to process what's happening.
Nikki Haley sucks Zionist cock today. The snake sucks Zionist cock. Chris Christie, Booby fucking Kennedy, Joe Biden. All of these people. The only people that don't suck Zionist cock are the American workers who are being screwed. And I'm an American worker. I'm one of us. But Donald Trump is no different than any of them. They all serve Israel. Bernie Sanders is an Israeli citizen. Anthony Blinken is an Israeli citizen. All of these people are Israeli citizens. And none of the CDC is an Israeli citizen. All of these people work together to get the American workers murdering Palestine. By the way, there's a lot of liberal Zionists who are out there saying ceasefire, peace now. So you know what? I've seen that for 40 years. It doesn't get us anywhere. All that ceasefire does is let Israel pull back pretty quickly. And bomb the shit out of the Palestinians again. The only way to end this is peace.
And like, and I hope he has that same energy for any fucking lobbyist, because that's kind of how they're getting in, is with the APAC thing. And I even before I knew what APAC was, I was hold on, let me fix this real quick. There we go. Even before I knew what APAC was, I was already against us having fucking lobbyists. And the idea of a lobbyist serving foreign interests was even fucking worse. Like, it just goes from bad to worse. So and so like I like his blunt honesty. I do. I like how he's like, you know, because I always say that about Trump, you know, well, he just says what he thinks, you know, he just tells it how it is. And so like I don't know why I can't like somebody else for that same reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, like we should worry more about taking care of people here than like, you know, if we didn't interject so much, not only would we not have so many refugees, we also wouldn't have such a huge, like fucking $1 trillion debt going on. But we also would have less dead soldiers. We would have a better economy, and we would have money here. One of the packages they fucking sent over to the Middle East, like recently to Israel, was like $3 billion? Hell, what? And they're wanting to take school lunches from children, but like they'll send shit tons of money over there. Like, are you kidding? Just just 1 billion of that would have helped so many homeless veterans. You know what I mean? Yes,
exactly.
Flowers, it is absolutely planned. It is. Like some people say the system is broken. No, it's working exactly as it's supposed to, and against us. It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough. Oh, they're taking people's, you know, they're making sure people's social security is a little small. You got some 80-year-old lady living somewhere that's trying to live on $500 a month when her rent's $800. But let's send billions of dollars over to Israel. Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not? And let's send them some weapons and give them all the health care they need. Sure. Because, you know, fuck our people here, right? Sorry.
No, not wrong.
Got a little feisty.
Wrong.
Exactly. Almost everybody is 2 or so weeks away from absolute devastation. I think, what was it, that most of Americans are one paycheck away from homelessness? Something along those lines?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, basically.
But it gives us a general idea of it.
Now, Mima Flowers, I'm going to be a little weird here. All my liberal friends insist that we're not being replaced. That's
I think we're
all
being
conspiracy
changed.
theory.
We're being changed.
I think. Yeah. And no,
It's
I'm
harder
not
to-
meaning to
it's
get
harder
on
to
to you
pick a
or
whole
call you out.
You can change them over time. In 2 or 3 generations, you can completely change them. I mean, even the way we speak now, 2 or 3 generations back, they spoke differently. Like if you pull up how people spoke in the 1940s, it's different than now.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, even in just a few generations, you can change the way people speak. You can change the way they live. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with marrying people who don't look like you. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying as an example how things can change in a couple of generations. You know, 3 generations ago, you couldn't marry someone who didn't look like you. We'll say that, and now that you can. I mean, people, if you love who you love, that's fine. Like, I'm not here for that, but I'm just giving an example of how society changes.
Societies do change.
And that is also by design. I mean, if you look closely at like a lot of the people coming up, they have brand new looking suitcases, clean clothes.
Yes.
They have not. I had to go to the thrift store yesterday to buy some luggage to try to go to Connecticut and see my daughter because, and I was like, oh, I found a nice one for like $5. It's like a Calvin Klein bag. I'm super excited. But these people have like brand new, like those suitcases that look like they're made out of like bulletproof material. Damn near, it's not, but it's like one of those hard shell ones, you know? And they're like $70, $80 for those, and they got brand new ones.
They've got better luggage than I do.
Oh wait, I'm
just saying.
Okay. See, exactly. They're sending fucking tons of money to Ukraine. Even one of the packages, even one of the fucking like money packages they sent in Ukraine, for instance. I don't want to pick on just Israel. I'll pick on everybody. I'm fine with that. One of the shipments they sent it. Sorry. Oh, air's a little dry in here. One of the billions of dollars they sent, they could have helped people like Tommy here, or people who are having issues like problems with their shoulders, problems with their back, and have disability like that. They could have helped them so much. Meals on Wheels, for instance, people who are like disabled and poor or whatever, they wouldn't have to worry. Just one of those packages would have helped so many fucking people here. But it's funny, we don't have enough money to help the people here. We don't have enough money to secure children having school lunches. But somehow we can print out and give them as much fucking money as they need over there. What a load of fucking horseshit. You know what? I hope Putin wipes them off the map. Fuck them. Yeah, well, at least the people who are in charge of that fucking shit, not the civilians. But, because unlike some people, I can actually differentiate between soldiers and civilians, obviously. And
Um, I know Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, he makes a good point here. He hears about 2,000 or more for illegals coming over the border. He can't get that much, even not even close on disability.
exactly.
I feel you
What a load
on
of fucking
that.
shit is. So, oh, that's fucking good.
It also
Yeah, I'm
says,
sorry, I
what
tried
did I
to chew
work
really
for?
fast. Like, I mean, in a way, Meemaw Flowers is right. In a way, we're being replaced, kind of, but not really. You can't just, I mean, well, I guess you can't make people disappear, but you can't make a whole group of people disappear. But
Well,
you can favor someone above them. And let's say something happens in Tommy's life, and maybe his wife gets laid off of work, and they end up without a home because fucking shit's happen, and our government doesn't fucking help anybody like they promised to do, and so they
mm-hmm.
got to leave. And then somebody who just got $4,000 or $5,000 coming across the border can go and move into his house and pay rent there, no problems. So I guess in a way they can kind of replace us in a way like that. That can happen because everything's so bass backward. Like one person brought up,
Yeah.
just to touch base on how much I hate fucking everything, is that they were talking about how much money a month child services gives adoptive parents, and they were saying that they give them like 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever a month. It depends on where you live. All these services to help you out, help you with baby. If you were doing this for the actual parents, maybe a lot of those parents wouldn't be in a situation where the kid ended up being taken. And
Yeah.
it's much different than that. You're giving help to the wrong fucking people. So the
Yeah.
people who
And
are
I
supposed to be
know,
your main priority are getting thrown by the wayside. And our government is
yeah.
absolutely to blame.
Mima Flowers saying she has an example too. I'm a Catholic survivor. Uh, let me get my glasses on.
I'm an example.
She's a Catholic
I'm an example
survivor.
too. I'm a Catholic survivor. Memory surged 3 years ago when I moved back to hometown after 35 years. I have lived below the poverty line since becoming disabled while teaching in 2000.
I'm
I
sorry.
hear you about
I
that as
hate
far as
that.
living below the poverty line. Me too. Like, so I am so sorry that's happening to you.
Yeah.
And I bet when it started, I bet they promised her a decent retirement. I bet they probably
Yeah.
promised her a bit. And then the inflation's fucking insane. Like, we're in debt. To who? We keep giving everybody fucking money. Who are we in debt to? Well, it's the Federal Reserve, quite frankly. I'm going to come out and say it.
Right.
There's a lot of it. I'm thinking about taking up a new profession every week. I'm going to cross up. Right? You know what? If my car had any decent suspension, I was thinking about maybe I should go do that too. My linguist skills are not easily. I kind of suck at it, so I'd have
I
to.
wouldn't blame anybody.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
either.
I guess we could, but they're coming from all points. It's like I can't remember how many different countries, but it's all over the place that they're shipped over to South America and then they stream up here.
And they're being brought up because there's no way people are coming from like China and Honduras on fucking foot. Like, are you fucking kidding?
Yeah,
It's 95 degrees here in Oklahoma. I can't imagine closer to the equator what that's gonna be like. Fuck.
yeah, exactly. I know. I haven't really looked deeply into replacement theory. I looked into it a little bit because I thought about doing a deep dive, but after the reactions my liberal friends have had when I have brought it up, and mind you, I'm not saying I believe it, I was just bringing it up, I decided it was just too, you know, they weren't going to listen to anything I said. There's no way to be centrist about it.
This is fucked up. So she goes. So
But
I asked my attorney. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know that I believe it because I just don't have enough knowledge to give an informed opinion. But I absolutely can understand why people believe it's happening. I totally get that. And I don't think that's racist to say. You know, if you are seeing something like this, you know, this group of people is getting benefits that citizens are not getting. I can't blame anybody for thinking that this is some weird replacement. It makes sense to me that you would think that. But again, I don't really know enough about the topic to talk really informed about it.
Well, and it's not like, because my brain, well, racism is like hating a particular race for like some other reason. But like, this is a bunch of different folks. It's not just like, oh, she hates Mexicans. It's not just Mexicans. That's barely even what that is. A lot of them are from Asia. A lot of them are like way South America, Colombia, Honduras, things like that. And the question is, who is transporting them up in the first place and bringing them? I know some people pay or owe money to come up here, and then they have to work off some sort of debt. I get that. But some of these people like hundreds of people are being brought up at a time, which means they have to have like a tour bus or some fucking shit. So like somebody is, and that's kind of where our concern is. It's not just regular people who need a place to come hide and have a better life. Like, that's not the question. It's who is facilitating this, and it's probably the same people who are facilitating small arms attacks in small countries, causing people to want to leave in the first place, making the country unlivable. So there's a whole thing they're all intertwined that needs to be, basically exposed and unknotted.
But instead, we're just going to be silenced and called racists.
Right. And me wanting to find out how to make things better to where everybody, will feel safer and better. And that includes people who feel the need to run from their country. Like, if our country would leave their shit alone, they might actually not need to leave. So, like, and I also think, and of course I do. And when I look at it from another angle, when I see folks going, well, if you don't like America more, you can just leave. I'm like, you mean leave like people who leave the countries they're unhappy with, and you get upset and come in here like that, or like no? I've not called some names for that one, and it's because I try to look at everybody's hypocrisy and everybody's thing, because one, I think if your country is absolute shit, yeah, you probably should leave. But also don't blame the concept of like staying if your country is shit and trying to fix it. But sometimes there's not much you can do to fix it. So I get it. Plus, if you've got small kids, if you've got small kids and it's dangerous, it may not be safe for you to try to stay and fix it, especially if the whole system is fucked. And our whole system is indeed fucked. And I almost feel bad for the immigrants, kind of, because, it may look good when you first get here and you're getting some money, but our government does not do things out of the kindness of its heart. So something bad's coming. There's a monkey claw in this. So you're getting what you want, but it's going to be in a fucked up way, because it always is. They're going to expect them to do something that maybe they didn't sign up for. Let's see. Oh, let me look at Mima. All right, so Mima Flowers says, so I asked my attorney to tell the diocese to put me in housing free rent, and they wouldn't do it. They are housing illegals all day. Pissed me off. Oh, fuck. That's some fucked up shit. Now I can understand why she's talking about being replaced, because all her years of dedication, probably to the church, to teaching, and this is how she gets fucking treated. They tell them to come here. It's planned. Absolutely. Maybe they should. You know what? That could be an idea, but again, the people who would okay that are the ones that are against us anyway. I mean, we would have to find some way to, like, I don't know, use some debt cord and take off, like, the side wall of a prison to release them. I'm not saying do that. I'm just, all right, ATF?
No, I understand.
I'm just saying. But, oh, yeah, they're coming up from Venezuela as well, yeah. And America's always been fucking around and down there doing silly shit. No great country would open its borders and leave them open. Yeah, generally not. Like, even Mexico has, like, a protected border. I don't think a lot of people have realized the irony of that. Oh, I feel like getting her potatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. I'm not trying to make fun of her, but that makes me think of a thing. They're big.
Oh?
It's Big Trouble right here in River City. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but it made me think of some kind of play my mom liked or some musical. And, like,
That
got
was
trouble right here.
Music Man.
I knew it was something. It's like, we got
That's,
trouble right here in River City. And so when I saw that, I'm
it
like,
starts.
sorry.
That
They do have
starts
trouble
with
in
a.
River City. Son of a
It
bitch.
starts with a T that rhymes with P, and that stands for potatoes. Yeah.
I'm going to throw something at you.
I love that movie.
Oh, okay, I'm glad she found it funny because I wasn't trying to make fun of her, but when I saw that, I could almost hear my
No,
mom
I mean,
floating.
I hope she doesn't think that, but no,
That's
I
why I was
thought it
hoping
was
that she
funny.
understood I wasn't. I was
What you're
just
saying.
because my brain works in memes and gifs ever since I was a kid. Even before we
Yeah.
had memes, my mind would picture something or like a scene from a movie or
Mhm.
something, and it would be hard to explain why my brain jumped to that. I mean, now that we have gifs and memes and clips and stuff, like I'm like, okay, it's easy to explain now.
I watched way too much Saturday Night Live as a kid. Back
Yes,
when it was still funny.
I know, right? Isn't that special, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking church lady,
And then
dude.
I
Yes.
then I ended up marrying that lady. So anyway,
Uh,
isn't that special?
Although the way she got punched by Sean Penn was pretty good. Like, I'm not a fan of Sean Penn, but like, yeah, Dana Carvey was being. Yeah, I like that scene. That was funny. I'm assuming it was for fake. But it's funny as shit though. I always say, laugh
Sean
or
Penn.
cry, take your pick. Yeah, you just got to get it out of you somehow. Laugh or cry. Sometimes both, and that's usually a sign of absolute danger, and everybody should run. If it's both, I've been there's once or twice where I've gotten so flustered that I start laughing and crying. Like that's not a good place to be. Like I wasn't happy, nobody was happy. Like it was like, oh, hairball there. Anyway, did I do all my new stuff? Oh no, we still have a
I have
couple.
no idea.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we still have a couple. So I just cleared out the ones on my Google, my what do you call this? My Chrome thing. So now,
Mhm.
oh shit. I was trying to go to present,
I
but
didn't
it
know
was so close to the other tab that would take you to the news thing that it went to that. And I was like, oh, hold on. Let's see. Right, what I just made up, but the truth is the law just passed. The Archbishop in New Orleans or traffic. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Pass castration laws on all pedos. Vatican will be pulling out soon. That's probably the first time they pulled out in the what? That. Yeah, that's wild. But of course, New Orleans is such a fucking crooked ass place that, like, a lot of times the laws that end up not applying to the people it ought to. That is such a corrupt place. Like, New Orleans cops killed my godfather, so like when I say I fucking hate those people, like I fucking do.
YouTube
Believe me.
keeps recommending that I watch a video called "More Money Than God,"
Maybe
and
there's something you're supposed to see in it. I don't know.
I'm half afraid to watch it though. But
I mean, maybe
because
find out what it's about.
it's about all the money that the Vatican has.
Ooh, this sounds like this could be
Yeah.
good. Maybe this is a sign that it should be for like your live stream or something. I don't know.
I just want to wait till my mental health is a little
Oh.
better before I watch it. Right now,
I don't know if our society and our media is going to let that happen. Honestly,
No, probably not wrong.
all right. So let's take a gander at this real quick. Oh, it's a fucking ad! I swear to God. Anyway, so yeah, apparently Justice Alito's wife, apparently she just cannot stop. Like we talked about him in one of the other live streams, and it was talking about his appeal to heaven flag or something. It was basically a white flag with a tree on it, and everybody was losing their fucking mind. But I couldn't figure out why. I guess it's like a Christian thing, but it was like at his house or his summer house. So I mean, it was silly. He was saying, I don't really have any control over that. You're telling me you don't have control over a flag at your house? That's the dumbest shit I've heard all day. You're a Supreme Court justice, but you can't control your front yard. But, I mean, he would just own that shit, man. Just own it. But his wife, on the other hand, seems to she might be a little unglued, though. Because apparently, I guess this guy right here is going to explore what Justice Alito's wife possibly meant when she invoked being German to inspire fear in the people who, in her mind, would come after her. I kind of want to know too. So I'm going to kind of play this to where like people can read the captions, but like not hear it because again, I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. But I'm kind of her like, well, I'm German, I'm depending on how she said that, I'm not sure that's something she really ought to like, that part she should play. Wow. I didn't expect all that shit. God dang. What the fuck? Like, I was not, it just was I don't know what she meant when she said it, but like.
I don't know anything about the topic really.
Well, apparently people have been hassling her a lot lately, and apparently she just keeps saying stuff that just is not helping the situation at all. But her going, I'm German, my heritage is German. And it's like, what are you implying when you say that to people who are fucking with you?
Yeah, I'm a quarter German myself, and I'm sorry, my family's been here for 300 years. We haven't had anything to do with the German war other than fighting against them for the last 300 years. So what's his point? But anyway.
Yeah, so he's trying to figure out what her point
toward
is.
You.
Right. He's trying to figure out what her point is, because that's a weird thing, especially right now with everything going on. Like, that's not something I would really, that's not a card I would try to play right now. Okay.
Wife condemns pride flag.
Just I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag, but I have to pause it. It's so big, I have to lean back and look at it. Like I said, I won't do it because I'm referring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up, and I'm going to send them a message every day, maybe every week. I'll be changing flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white. It has yellow and orange flames around. What the fuck? I'm kind of concerned she might be a little nuts. This is how she satisfies about making flags.
And I guess this is news because her husband's in the Supreme Court.
Right, and there's been political issues around him because a lot of people don't like him, and like I said, his wife's not helping. Like, she's saying some weird ass shit, and it's not helping. Like, it's just going to make her look like she's nuts. So apparently his wife is
Pinocchio.
Apparently condemning the pride flag, which, if your husband's catching a lot of shit, that seems like an unnecessary fight to pick at that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to hear what this guy
I'm
has.
just curious, who the heck is recording conversations? I don't understand why so many people are recording conversations.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm the kind of person that I would, but I'd be looking for something more important.
I've had with my ex-wife, but
yeah, that's probably to protect yourself. But I don't know. I'd be wanting to find something way more juicy than bullshit about a fucking flag. For fuck's sake,
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's really. I mean, I get it, but it doesn't really seem like something. If I had a news channel, yeah. Anyway, Hollywood stores are using their platforms to fight.
It's apparently everyone loves Raymond's Patricia Heaton is saying it's up to Christians to do something about anti-Semitism. Oh my fucking god! Everybody wants to be such a fucking martyr. Jesus fucking shit!
Yeah,
oh my god.
True.
Maybe, and I'm a little wild here. Maybe it's up to the country who's being criticized right now to not do stuff to get criticized, like not killing a shit ton of people. Like, I don't know. It seems weird. If someone brought up a cute point the way they phrased it, and I'm going to try to phrase it the way they did, because they sounded smooth when they said it. But if nothing that happened before October 7th justifies what happened on October 7th, then why does everything that happened after October 7th is justified by October 7th? I mean, holy fuck. And I'm like, because I mean, it should be a limit. I mean, anytime there's a fight, anytime there's anything, every person should have a line in their mind where they will not cross. Like, let's say someone breaks into y'all's houses, and you have a right to defend yourself, and you might even whoop his ass a bit. Who knows? But if someone goes, well, are you going to go after his family and kill his kids? You'd be like, fuck no, of course not. Like, what? Exactly. You have a line in your mind where you would not cross. If he had a buddy that was waiting outside, would you get him? Probably just get his plate. Probably. If he was trying to get away, you'd probably just get his plate. You probably wouldn't actually kill him if he was trying to run and he was in the car waiting. He's an accessory, absolutely, but he's not currently putting your life in danger. So again, you'd probably get his plate number and tell the cops, but you probably wouldn't go and finish him too. Like so there's different lines in the sand. If you're arguing with your spouse, you'll argue, but there's something you wouldn't bring up because it's a no-go zone. There's a line you don't cross.
You obviously have never talked to my ex-wife.
Okay, you're not supposed to cross. You're not supposed to cross. I mean, technically you can, but you're not supposed to. And I think
there's supposed to be some boundaries.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that's why we have the Geneva Convention. That's why we have U.S. War Code 2441, which is like our own little mini Geneva Convention of like shit we're not supposed to fucking do. Like illegal medical experiments and all kinds of fucking weird shit. They kind of cover everything. Rape's a war crime. You're not supposed to do that either. Which makes me wonder, if rape is considered a war crime and a form of torture, why are nobody ever convicted as if it is a war crime? Like, that seems kind of weird. Yeah, how do you get 3 months in jail for a war crime? Like, that's fucking weird. Anyway, but the point is, but there's boundaries that you're not supposed to cross. Like, if you get into, if a woman, your argument and she hits you, you might maybe hit her. Maybe. You might. But you probably wouldn't kill her. You might just try to grab her hand and push her away from you. But you figure in your mind there's a line you're not going to cross. Like, you don't plan on actually crushing her skull, probably. Like, I hope not. Yeah. Just for a slap. You know what I mean? Like, you have a right to defend yourself, but again, there's a line. And everything you do, there should be a limit to where you will not go. And I feel like no country should be above this. And that includes Israel. It includes anyone, in my mind. I was raised to believe in Israel, sure. But I am able to look at things and go, you know what? This is not okay. I wouldn't be okay if this country was doing it. I wouldn't be okay if that one was doing it. So why would it be okay for you to do it? It's not. It's not okay when we commit war crimes. It's not okay when Ukraine does. It's not okay. That's why it's a crime. The word is in it. Crime. War crime. That's why the word is literally in there. I mean, I don't mean to sound like Ben Shapiro, when she was like, oh, well, where does it say that girls can't join? It's in the title, Boy Scouts. It's in the fucking title. It's like that. It's in war crimes. It's in the fucking title. That's why it's law. Like when people are like, oh, why are you saying illegal immigrants are breaking the law? It's in the title. Illegal immigrant. It's in the fucking title. It speaks for itself. And I feel that a lot of people are like keep moving the goalposts. Like this time last year, there was not a Republican you could talk to who wouldn't agree that, the Constitution matters, the rules of engagement matter, that foreign interference is absolutely not okay, all of this. And now suddenly all of that's out the window now. Every Republican has absolutely, never mind moving the goalpost, they melted it down. Yeah. They have completely abandoned it. And now, like I showed y'all earlier, you've got some batshit crazy people who are saying that we need to set up a justice system of Noahide laws. The fuck me. We went from a constitutional republic this time last year to we need to set up a whole separate judicial system. Jesus fucking Christ, everybody's lost their fucking minds. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah. I think people are kind of going crazy, and I don't.
They are, and I'm going crazy looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, he is a tool, but I mean, in that argument with that 19-year-old college student, he was correct. It's in the title, Boy Scout. Like, I mean, I get it, the Boy Scouts do more fun stuff than the Girl Scouts, but why not just up the game of the Girl Scouts and have them doing cool, fun shit too? Like, this, instead of bringing, it's like that equality thing where you're not supposed to make everyone equally miserable. You're supposed to bring people up to a better standard. So instead of fucking with the Boy Scouts and trying to bring them down, simply bring the Girl Scouts up to a good standard where they're doing similar stuff that the boys are doing. teach you how to tie
Yeah.
knots, you know, how to use knives, whatever it is the fuck they do in Boy Scouts these days. I have no idea. They've changed in the last since my dad was a kid. But the point,
Yeah.
nonetheless, you know, and of course my mom wasn't in it because, you know, she was a girl. You know, okay, sorry, I'm getting wild, frisky here. I'm sorry. Lordy, everybody's gonna be like, wait, she sounded Republican, then she sounded Democrat, then she sounded Republican again. I know, because I believe that sometimes, you know, sometimes one side's correct and sometimes the other side's correct, and sometimes not
Yeah,
even 100%
exactly.
in that. Somewhere in between is the truth. Sorry.
Well, we've had that talk. I think they're both working for the same people, but
Oh
you're
yes,
right.
I
It's just
absolutely believe it. They're doing it bit by bit because they know, and I forget where this quote comes from. I wish I remembered, but basically, the gist of it was, if we take it a little piece at a time, one day they will wake up and it'll be too late. I can't remember the exact quote. I think it was to do with socialism or something. I can't remember exactly what the goal was, but the concept stays the same though. Let's see. Though I try to avoid paying attention too closely to all that, so I may be out of the loop. It's fair. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Ooh. Ooh. I know for certain eBay is doing the same shit YouTube does. Pay to win policy. Pay them to get your sales. Oh yeah, promote. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really sell much on eBay. I mean, I found some, well, it feels weird to say antique, but like vintage computers. And it took a couple of days, but I was able to sell them pretty well. Like they were like an Apple One or Apple Two or something like that.
oh, nice.
Yeah, I'd probably plugging it in, but it smelled a little hot. And I was like, whoa. So like I put that in there. I was like, yeah, it does seem to kind of come on, but it smells like it might not be a safe idea. So like I put it in there, kind of wouldn't even burn their house down. And somebody bought like both of them. It took like a week. I didn't have to like I don't think I had to advertise it, but eBay has a thing where like you can advertise it, but they're not going to charge you for advertising it until you actually sell it. I think, so which that's kind of cool. So if it doesn't fucking work, then you don't have to pay them technically. So that's kind of neat. There are plenty of us who still believe in the values and beliefs of our grandparents and have the same guns they use. I think I have a Soviet weapon. I normally don't talk about it, but like low key, it's actually kind of missing. I don't know where it's at. Like. So I'm trying to. I know that doesn't sound good. I know, but like, I remember I needed to fix something on it because it has like the little strap thing where you can kind of carry it over your shoulder. You know, just kind of drape it over your shoulder and carry it on your back. Mm-hmm. And like the straps broke, and it like some water got on it, so I had to dry it because I didn't want it to rust because that thing is like older than me. It's probably older than you because it was like. Because there was two of them. I didn't have both, but it was like one was a Chinese one and one was a Yugoslavian one, and I think I had the Yugoslavian one. I think I do. I don't fucking know. Anyway, but I put it somewhere, and I was like, you know, this thing probably hasn't seen oil since like it was like 15 cents a gallon, so I probably should do something with that. Right. And then, and I don't know where it's at. So, like, I hope nobody breaks in my house because I'll just have to beat them with, like, the chair. Like, I'll beat them with the kitchen chair or something, I guess. And it's like, because I have some heavy things. I'll just, like, beat them to death with shit. But I, like, low-key, my dad left it to me, and I don't know where I put it. I don't know.
That's funny. Life gets away from you.
Yes. I think I'm... No, I don't think it's there. So I thought I put it somewhere I thought it would be safe because we were having like tornadoes like around, and so I didn't want it flying through the air as debris. So I put it somewhere I think is safe, but I'm trying to remember where that fucking place is. So like, if I am not finding it, nobody else is going to find it. Like nobody is going to break in the house and steal it. So I know it's a fear and concern if you don't know where a weapon is, and I get that. Do not worry. It's so safe I can't even find it. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting. I too remember a time when the government telling you to put something in your body would have just been
you know, they've actually been doing that for a long time. Actually, like if you look up, and I don't know if you'll find it on YouTube, you might have to just like Google it, so to speak, and just look under video results. But from like the early 80s, there was like, I think it was like the swine flu. And they were talking about how people were having, they were encouraged to do so and use celebrities. It's the same old thing every time. Using celebrities, endorsing it to get you to take it. And a bunch of people is getting them sick. And like one lady was like, well, probably more than one lady, but one lady on the news was paralyzed from it. But they were more honest about what side effects were doing back then. But like, so they've been trying to get you to put weird shit in your body for a long time, to be honest. Oh, huh. Let's see. They say, but you had to get the polio shot for school when you were a kid, right?
According to the BBC, there was a fiasco of a 1976 swine flu affair.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the 70s or 80s. I couldn't remember because clothing is kind of similar around that time.
I don't remember that. I mean,
I don't either. I don't remember it either. But of course, I was a little bit younger, but still, and I didn't really care about the news until I was like my 20s and 30s.
I cared. The time that I cared the most about the news was between the time I was 8 and 17.
Oh man,
it was weird.
Yeah, right on.
But I do remember a few things from back then, but I don't remember this. The swine flu affair of 76. A U.S. president decided to rush a vaccine to the entire American population based on ill-founded science and political imprudence. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're honest about that.
This needs to be talked about.
Mm-hmm. Amen. We might have to be on Rumble for that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
YouTube's got to stick up their ass.
President Gerald Ford ordered an unprecedented mass vaccination of everyone in the United States.
Ta-da!
Imperato was deputy health commissioner and the chair of the task force.
Yep.
Charged with rolling out the program.
See, I think I don't know if I mentioned this on my live stream or I was mentioning to someone else, but oftentimes we remember the past more fondly than we should. So a lot of times, good old days, and I'd be like, "Which good old days?" And they'd be like, "Oh, when things were safer." And I'm like, "From what?" Because like, there's always been something for like the last 150 years. Well, let's drop it down. The last 120 years, our government has been absolutely dead set on fucking us up. And it just gets worse and worse. And then the Federal Reserve made it worse and worse. And it's been nonstop ever since. So anybody alive today tell me they miss the good old days. I'm like, could you specify? Because a lot of the stuff that was going on back then is still kind of happening. It's just that we don't remember it. It's like it just fades into our memory and we end up remembering the past better than we ought to. Like, you ever see those memes where they're like, oh, look, back when gas was 50 cents a gallon and oh, I miss the good old days where you get bread for $1. Yeah, but you were getting $2 an hour. Like it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The inflation has still made it much worse. So now you'd use 50% of your check to get groceries as opposed to only like 15% of your check. Like, don't get me wrong. The inflation rate's still absolutely fucked. But like, people are sitting here thinking about today's paycheck buying, bread 40 years ago. Like, that's not how it was. Like, people are still struggling and scraping to get by. Everything's just gotten more. Yikes.
Wow.
Because I remember my dad was making really good money in the early 90s, getting like $500 a week, or is it every 2 weeks? I don't remember because it's been a long time. But, but our rent was like $250 a month at the time. So it was a 2-bedroom apartment on the west side of Oklahoma City. So, and gas was like 89 cents. So yeah, $250 for rent sounds terrific. And 89 cents a gallon, fuck yeah. Like, I would give a pinky toe for that. But again, people weren't getting paid $15, $20 an hour necessarily like they are now. Although not everybody is. Some people are still getting paid like $7.25 an hour. And that's really rough. So, and I watch these people argue back and forth, well, they need to work harder and or pick a better job, which can't always. And you got
Yeah.
other people going, well, you need to raise the wages. And like, I get that, but that's literally a very temporary thing because inflation is what's getting everybody. I just wish everybody would get together and just riot at the Federal Reserve building. There's one on Pearl Street in Dallas. You don't even have to go all the way to DC for it.
Yeah.
Just riot in front of there. Give them some 2020 rioting action. Give it to them. I'd love to see it.
But it's only okay for one side to riot. The other side can't do that.
Yeah, I believe everybody's got a right to riot. I didn't like the part where innocent people were getting hurt and storefronts were getting hurt.
100%.
I didn't. Just prefacing that I didn't like that. But in the general fuck the police attitude of the 2020 riots, perfectly fine. Again, I don't like them burning down private property and all that shit. That was not cool. There were a lot of poor folk just like them who worked all their lives for a store and had it destroyed. Not cool. But burning the police station down after the police evacuated, totally cool. And I was completely okay with people rioting at on January 6th. I'm not a hypocrite. I think everybody has a right to riot if something is wrong.
Well, my big deal is whenever. Okay, so
Ooh, yeah.
My liberal friends basically decided their turning point, their point of okay, we can't be conservatives anymore, was January 6th.
See,
and I wrestled with it hard because. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say? Fluoride in the water, which isn't the fluoride for toothpaste.
Right? There's two kinds of fluoride. There's calcium fluoride and potassium fluoride, some shit like that. And the calcium fluoride is kind of okay. It's the potassium fluoride or whatever the fuck they're actually giving us. They're not giving us the one they were supposed to be giving us. And so they've been kind of fucking people's heads up. Yeah. That's why for the very longest time that I would brush my teeth with the orange flavored, because I hate mint, orange flavored Listerine. I wouldn't use toothpaste because I feel a little weird about something that I'm supposed to wash my teeth with that the label says if you swallow it, you should probably call poison control. Bruh, I might as well use fucking Ajax. Are you fucking kidding me? There should not be a poison control warning label on my toothpaste.
Ajax, what the fuck? I think will get your teeth real good and clean.
Well, I wasn't going to use either, so I just clean my mouth with Listerine that kills germs anyway.
Tommy and the guinea pig. I don't get how these dumb kids that complain they can't afford to live on their own keep voting in people who perpetuate the same policies that put them in the situation. Yeah.
Well, I feel bad for them in a way because they know they're fucked and they don't understand who's doing it to them. Although really it's the system in general. It's the lobbyists and all the politicians are bad. There are some that do more direct damage, like on certain things. And yes, voting them in is absolutely stupid. I agree. I must admit, I was a little nervous what that first part was going to be about not being able to afford stuff. And I'm like, it's hard for everybody, but I realized, they'll keep voting the same people in. Correct. Never mind. Yeah. Thank God. I was afraid it was going to be like an economics argument. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. One time Tommy got mad at me because I think it was like a miscommunication. And I was explaining I was talking about how tickets people had to pay tickets and it basically punishes the poor, but rich people don't have to, they can afford it. It was a whole thing. It was like 2018, 2019, and he got mad and yelled at me. I was like, God damn. Oh. I was like, bruh. I just talked up to him having a bad day. And it never happened again. He never yelled at me again. I think he was just having a bad day. But I try to be careful to word things carefully because I want to make sure he doesn't get upset again because Tommy's one of those people that you feel really bad if he's upset with you. You're like, fuck, what did I do? And you feel really bad because he's almost never mad at anyone. So you're like, you feel like you've really just disappointed him. You're like, God damn it. Darn it, little head down in shame.
Fuck. Tommy says this world needs a steak dinner, the Vlad type.
Oh my God, I have a picture of that somewhere. My hold on. I'm sharing the whole thing, right? Oh, where is it? I think I have something for this, don't I? Yes, I do. I do have something for this. I need to zoom it in. Where's my zoomy thing? It says, guys, I think I have the solution. And it's Vlad the Impaler. So I was like, I have one for this moment. Can y'all see it, or is it not presenting?
I don't see it.
Fuck.
Oh.
He said that. I'm like, I have one for that. I do.
I think I have a solution.
So that's terrific.
fantastic.
The fact that he said that, I'm like, oh, I gotta go find that. I'm like, yes, I got it. Yes.
Oh, does your Twitter ever just do weird crap?
Yes, punishment fits the crime. Absolutely. I do like that because a lot of times the punishment does not fit the crime. He said, does my Twitter do weird shit? Possibly. Like, what specifically are you asking?
So, well, the specifics is Deleted Scenes just sent me a link to be on the other side of midnight, and I responded that I'd be there, but it's like not popping up on my computer. It just showed up on my phone.
Oh, did you try refreshing it? Did you try refreshing it?
That's probably a good idea. Let's try that.
And sometimes I notice that if I send something in Messenger on my phone, I don't see it on my computer. I have to refresh it to see it. So that could be. Oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, sometimes it just needs a little smack.
So it's a bit against my better judgment because the chronic fatigue is real, but I'm going to be on the other side of midnight here at about 11 o'clock.
Drop a link for that for everybody to see so they can, like,
yes.
Is there a little link already set up for it?
He sent me the StreamYard link.
Okay, then there's probably a little thing on YouTube for it already then. So.
Okay, let me...
You would like to drop it like it's hot?
Yeah, well, no, I don't. I just don't know that he wants everyone in the studio.
No. I meant the YouTube location for it.
Yeah. That's what I'm.
You silly thing! I don't expect you to just mass invite everybody.
Oh, come on! Deleted needs a mass Moira Kitty.
Well, yeah. It is chat, not backstage. I'm not telling you. I feel like a backstage link is the same as like divulging somebody's address without their permission. Like,
yes.
Yeah, or giving away their phone number. Yeah, so I was not suggesting that. I meant to the actual YouTube channel. He'd be like, why the hell is there 50 people in my StreamYards? What the fuck?
And they're all angry at the government. Although he kind of is too. Yeah. He's not that far from where we're at.
We don't have any pitchforks and torches, but we have those little flame emojis. We can just like light up the little chat with little flames. Like, we're here to burn it down.
Yes.
But I don't want him to think that we're trying to burn his shit down. Like, not yours. We're recruiting you to come with us.
To my audience.
But yeah, he's talking about punishment fits the crime. And it oftentimes doesn't. Well, let's say an 18-year-old does something stupid. He's playing a prank on somebody. Nobody's getting hurt, but they put a firecracker in someone's mailbox. And it doesn't really do any damage. The inside looks a little like it's got some carbon residue, but it's not damaged. It just looks like shit inside. Someone did that to one of the mailboxes near here. I'm assuming it's the people who lived next door before the people who are there now. And it was like always, it was kind of chalky in there for a while. But like, I don't think anybody should have lost their right to vote or right to protect themselves because of it. You know what I mean? Even though it would be seen as a felony. So sometimes the punishment does not always fit the crime. And I think it's a bit dumb.
Agreed.
Honest. That is honestly awesome. Tommy's got it.
Tommy's got it?
Yep. You're a good guinea pig. We are he's got a third degree black belt in moderating. Third degree black belt in moderating.
You know, I should have thought of that. I just should have went to his channel and.
Were you not? What were you doing?
Popped it up. I was trying to figure out. I always do things the most convoluted way possible.
Were you writing to him for the link?
Huh?
Were you writing to him for the link?
No. No,
Oh,
no.
so that
Although
would be
that does sound like something I would do. But no, it was
you don't mod anymore.
um
You are. Yeah, I don't know why I'm about to go check that. Of course, he's a modder. He wouldn't be able to put the link up. Fuck, I'm stupid. I was about to go check. I'm like, wait. I don't know. My brain was like, wait, he has a mod, isn't he? And I'm like,
I've made you a mod in one of my channels, but
how many do you have?
I can't. Or no, actually, it was one of your channels that I made a mod, but I can't remember which one it was.
I only have
'Cause
two. I only have two.
yeah,
And
like
one's
one of
just
your
like
channels.
one's my burner one. Well, not a burner. I mean, it's got my government name on it, so it's not much of a burner one. But like, it's my go-to if I get in trouble here, or like if I'm going to do something that's quite questionable. Like, I'll tell everybody go to this one. I think I have like maybe 30 people subscribed to that channel. Because about this time last year, I posted a little TikTok clip that was making fun of the Wagner mercenary group, Israel and America, and I put the little flags over Harry, Hermione, and what's his fucking name's face, Rupert Grint's face, like I forget his name, but and it had American flag over one, Israel flag over another. And I didn't have the Wagner flag emoji, so I just put a skull and crossbones for being a mercenary group in general. And yeah, and Professor McGonagall goes, "Why, when there's something happens, it's always you three?" I thought it was fucking hilarious, and YouTube did not. And they suspended me for 7 days. They did not find that nearly as funny as I did. It was that when the Wagner group's flag got hoisted over Israel, Tel Aviv. And it showed that clip, and that was the stitch I did trying to be funny, and I got suspended because I just cracked a joke. That was before the October War even started. Ooh, he's like, watch this. There it is. There, he's like, watch this. Oh, hello, Miss Frosty Broccoli. Welcome, and hello to you, Ancient One. Lots of hugs. Wiki, 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 wiki. At least I assume that's what he's doing. I'm not entirely sure.
Howdy, Miss Frosty, and howdy at Tommy. Yes. So I finally figured it out. I also posted a link. So just go there if you want to listen to me later on. I'll try to be halfway cognizant. Maybe.
Let me go to my little thing so I can find that link in the chat because I can't click on stuff from StreamYards.
Yeah, I've wondered about that myself. I'm always having to go kind of back and forth between things.
All right, I'll even drop a like on deleted scene stuff now. It'll start 85 minutes, so no matter what time zone you're in, 85 minutes is still 85 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Let me go back to here. Oh, I keep forgetting everybody can see what I'm doing. Thankfully, I'm not doing anything bad. I'd never do, really.
Yeah, I
got my little pirated movie websites I go to, and like,
oh no,
I know, like it does this every time you click on it. Almost it does that, and you gotta do this a few times because my antivirus hates it. But once you get past that, you got Quiet Place. Well, that's the stuff I was looking for specifically. Oh yeah, it does that shit. Flickster is better. It doesn't do it as much. And I found out that from TikTok there's a show called Young Dracula, so I've been meaning to actually check that out. But my God, it's got like 5 or 6 seasons. I'm like, good God, that's a lot.
Wow.
I know. People were just raving about it in the comment section of TikTok, and I'm like, I've never even heard of this. It's like, I guess it's like Welsh or something.
Really?
Yeah, but it's about a kid who like doesn't want to be a vampire. He wants to be normal and not join the family business, so to speak. It's kind of cute sounding.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I kind of want to check that
Dracula.
out. Yeah.
Huh.
I use Flickstore because it has less of the pop-up thing going on, and you get a lot of the movies that are in theaters right now. Sometimes, if you're lucky, someone makes a mistake and uploads a movie that hasn't been released in the United States yet, like the Ungentlemanly Warfare movie. I was able to show that to everybody on my channel like a week before it was actually released here in America.
That's fantastic.
I felt so fucking fancy. Ooh, That and like it's really hard to like boycott Hollywood, but that's how I do it. I think I should still be able to watch movies, but they're not getting a dime out of me, and I'll help everybody participate in not giving them money. Haha.
I understand that actually. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I'm so glad you. My mouse is frozen. Okay, there we go. My mouse hates me. Anyway, we are so glad that you're here as well. Oh, Miss Frosty Broccoli sent her this way. Awesome. Uh-oh, it's not letting me. Oh, okay, it's finally letting me click now. It was like not letting me do that.
Do you remember a TV show that lasted one season? It was about a vampire private detective.
Oh my God, that's Forever Night.
Well, yeah, there was that too.
Oh, there's another one?
No, that was well, yeah. They basically it just became a thing after Forever Night. I mean, I know there was also
right?
Dark Shadows, but I haven't.
Oh, that was
seen
before Forever Night though, because Forever Night came out in like '96, and the Dark Shadows
Yes.
reboot did it in '91.
Yes,
So I remember seeing that when I was a kid.
but there was another one in the 2000s, like the one they say 2007 ish, called Moonlight. And
I remember my mom talking about it, but I don't know if I watched it. But I remember my mom, because it was a vampire show. My mom was interested.
Yeah, I'm kind of hit and miss. It takes
Well,
a
at least
little
give it
more.
a chance.
Yeah,
But
I'll
yes,
give it a
West
chance.
West Kegel, if you want a place where you can look at like free stuff, I guess like Potlocker or Putlocker was, it's Flixtor, FLIXTORZ.TO. That's where I go. It has all. It's got the that a whole bunch of stuff. Like, let me duplicate this real quick so I don't lose my little Dracula thing real quick. Hold on. It does that. It may not do it to you, but my Avast is a bitch. Hold on. Gotta do it like third time's a charm on that shit. There we go. Shows, movies, got the new Inside Out, which I mean I'm not personally interested in, I don't think, but they got the new movie If it says cam, it means it was like filmed in a theater, and it's usually not too bad, but it'll have a couple of stupid pop-ups, usually at the 10-minute mark and the 42-minute mark is usually where they are. But if it's an HD on it, it won't have any pop-ups at all. So yeah, those. Some from like other countries as well. Oop. House of Dragons, apparently. Yeah, the newest Bad Boys movie. Y'all remember Bad Boys 2 where the daughter brought home a boyfriend and they were ragging on him so hard?
I'm
They're like,
afraid I never watched the second one.
oh, okay. Because, well, daughter, Martin Lawrence's daughter in the movie had brought home a boyfriend, and they were ragging on him. Him and Will Smith were just absolutely cornering this kid and, trying to scare him, as they do. And you're going to be super proud of him in the newest one. Like, because he's grown up now. He married the daughter, and he's a Marine. And it's one of the
cool.
Oh, one of the best fight scenes in the entire Bad Boys movie, the most recent one. It does not even involve Will Smith or Martin Lawrence. It's that young man.
That's cool.
Oh my God, he tears through it. Like, you would be proud, because apparently 15 guys go to their house to seize the cop's family, and they had a hard time succeeding. They had a real hard time with it because he killed all of them, like 15 of them fuckers. He killed them. Like, oh man, like he's kind of nerdy, and I think he's got a touch of the tism, but my God, is he precise? You'll love it. That I wish I could show that right now. That is like the fucking terrific scene. I don't know. Maybe YouTube has that. Let me see.
You never know.
Let's see if that scene is there. Let's see. Bad Boys 4. Ride or Die Reggie scene. Let's see if I could do this without the sound, because maybe I can get away with that. All right, so that's him in the second one right here, where they're ragging on this poor nerdy kid right here, And so that's from the second one. They're ragging him at the end, but like they're not really showing that particular scene, which is really strange because I see like that's the scene they would have shown. So I don't know why this not showing that. Maybe
Bad Boys 2, Intimidating Reggae.
that. Let's see.
Oh, Reggie.
Or Reggie fight scene. Okay, so you gotta be specific. I guess. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can make this. All right. Let me see if I can make this big enough for everybody to see. This is fucking terrific. They're watching from this other place, and they're like, "Shit, there's people about to go to your house to get your family," and they're like, "Oh fuck." YouTube, if it shuts down, I will just turn it off. But they're watching; they can't do anything, so they're trying to call him to warn the kid, like, "Hey, you know, some shit's going on." So they're trying to get hold of the people at the house, but they're on the run at the moment. All right, let me jump ahead. So, all right, so that's the nerdy kid y'all saw a minute ago. This is so fantastic. I love it. Like I would watch the movie again just to see this scene. Fucking great. And here they come, and there they go. Boom. Go, Reggie, go. Yes. They're cheering him on the screen. They're like, get him, get him. And the guy watching the computer, he's like, who is that guy? He goes, that's my son-in-law. He's so freaking proud of him. It's great. And here it goes again. Boom, boom. I mean, he's tearing it up like Neo in the Matrix. I mean, he is just shredding through them. Because he apparently in the movie he just got back from a deployment, so he is not to be trifled with.
Right. I think John Wick would be proud.
Oh, he would. I mean, he's John Wicking all through that house. Oop. He's going, yeah, get him, get him. He's like, did you see that? That is a fantastic scene. I love it. It is so good. I'm not off the air, am I? Let me go check. Like,
at least I can see you. Of course.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, I don't know. They probably would have shut us down from that.
Yeah.
Oh, meow noises. Let's see. Yeah, it is. It's 90 degrees now. So it's not. It's almost 10 o'clock, and it's now down to 90. Hello, Ruben. How are you? This heat's making me definitely be indoors. I try to go outside for a cigarette. I'm like, oh, it's seasonal. I'm dying. Ugh. He said, do that again. I know, right? No, that scene was fantastic. That was one of the best fights
was really cool.
in years. I was like, fuck yeah, I do it. I was so proud of that nerdy kid because he was the second one. He was just getting roasted. They roast him all through the movie until that scene. Oh, gotcha. Well, they always give him crap. It's so cute. Even though they got married and everything, they're still razzing the kid. And you know what I think Martin Lawrence is grumpy, and he goes, "What are you doing home?" He goes, what? And he goes, "Don't you have to be at work?" He goes, "I'm in the Marines, sir." And he goes, "Shouldn't you be deployed?" He goes, "I just got back from deployment, sir." Like he's like, "Why am I getting picked on?" Poor kid.
Yeah,
and then he just tears through that, and it's cute. Like people are gonna love it. Like it was probably, I think it's the best Bad Boys movie they've made. Because
That's
usually
cool.
the more movies they make, the worse it gets. This actually
Yeah.
is not. This is, I think they
That's
should
really
put it on a
cool.
good note because this is the best they've done. And Reggie
Well,
absolutely fucking crushed it. It was good.
killed it.
I was gonna say that, but I thought, nah, it's too cheesy. I thought everybody would thought I was silly for it. I forgot to
A
pin
little
this in
too
my
on the
chat,
nose.
right? But I forgot to pin this. But if anybody does want to help with the cause, if you click on that, it will give you the little story of what the PayPal little fundraiser thing is for. So if you want to help, I super appreciate it. If not, I totally understand it. Everything sucks for everybody right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
let's see. No idea. I never made it to Tennessee. I was there in a stopover one time. I forget where I was going to or from. Sometimes they put you in weird ass places. Like you'll be going from like Oklahoma to Connecticut or something. Because back in like 2004, 2005, I was doing that. And they're like, "Oh, you can have a stopover in Tennessee," and I'm like, "Why? Do we not have enough fuel to make it all the way to Connecticut? Like, why are we stopping in Tennessee?" Or sometimes they'll have you go to like I'm in Oklahoma and have you go to Houston and then from Houston to Connecticut. I'm like, that's the opposite direction. That's going south, not north. Why am I doing that? Anyway, I think I have bitched about everything there is to bitch about, except I still hate her. Like that popped up in my feed. I still hate. So look, how many of y'all want to slap her silly when she did this? Yes, absolutely, yes, I do. And not just for this; it's for pretty much everything. Absolutely, elder abuse for her, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
100%.
tie one hand behind my back. I'll make it fair. You know, but fuck that woman. I hate her. Got a little bit of hair all there.
Well, do we
Anyway,
have anything else we want to cover? I apologize, but I'm wearing out fast.
oh, I hear you. Me too. You thought about
Oh,
doing
Pelosi.
spaces on X? I I've thought about it, but the stuff I talk about, like Twitter is a place where it's really out in the open and you could just absolutely get bombarded by a whole lot of people who didn't like what I had to say. And
Yeah,
I mean, YouTube technically it's open to where everybody can see it anyway, but it seems like the only people who find me usually are the people who are like, cool with this. And
yeah,
so, yeah.
exactly.
And I've seen way too many people get absolutely shredded on Twitter because I guess they didn't realize how many people could see it. And so, like, I think, I mean, don't I do share some stuff on my Twitter, but I just don't go live on it because,
Yeah,
yeah,
same here. I
because I
share my
just don't
stuff, but
necessarily
I don't
feel
go
like
live.
suddenly going viral in the worst way, whether someone took
Yeah,
something out of context or not, and just get absolutely eviscerated by hundreds of people. Right on. I mean, it seems to go okay when I just like share a post, but like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically anybody can find it. Usually, only the people who follow you will see that you're having a thing. But like, I don't know. I'm just kind of used to it here. Plus, I heard that Twitter has been cracking down on quote unquote finger quotes again anti-Semitic stuff, which half the stuff I say would be could be construed as that. You know, in my mind, that's just hating Jewish people because they're Jewish, which I don't hate them. I don't hate anybody for their religion. I mean, I think Satanists are a little weird, but I don't mess with them. I don't go out trying to make them feel bad or nothing. I just don't interact. So, like, if I don't like someone, I just generally won't interact. My issue is strictly political, although some folks will like to cross over and try to say that my political view is an anti-religious one, and then that's nah.
yeah.
I think
I,
if
I,
anything's anti-Semitic, it's basically saying that uh, genocide is so intertwined with the Jewish religion that it would be considered. I'm like, no, I think that's anti-Semitic.
yeah, I understand what you mean there. I get the other reasoning too. I mean, the Bible basically had God command them to commit it. So,
Well, yeah, but
but
also he got so annoyed with them, he killed them. Like,
yeah, exactly.
like the book of Amos, Amos, what, like
Yeah,
Amos, I guess. The
yeah,
book of Amos, he was like, you know what? I'm so fucking tired of you people. And he fucking,
yeah.
like, I'm going to kill all of you. And I was like, God dang, bruh. Like,
Well,
dad got mad.
he told Moses that he was going to kill everybody and just turn him into a nation like he'd done with Abraham, and
right?
Moses
So,
prayed and said, "Oh, please don't do that."
like,
And
I
then
don't
he
think I
went down
would.
and
I
got
don't think I would
back.
consider myself right. I don't think I would consider myself Dad's favorite if he kept trying to kill me. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm chosen, but not in a good way. God dang.
Yeah, it's a
Of course,
delicate thing.
But of course, I also argue that the people of the Old Testament are not the same people. A lot of them are not the same people of today. They were not a bunch of Europeans running around. It was like, that's why they're called Israelis, because they're not Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get
Yeah.
into that whole thing, but yeah. I mean, hell, this country's changed a lot in 200 years. That country changed a lot in 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, it wasn't Europeans running amok. But like, oh man, I know I'm gonna sound like Frosty Broccoli when I say this, but leave it to a whole bunch of white Europeans to try to confiscate somebody else's culture. God dang it.
Yes.
That's appropriation of the highest level I have ever seen in all my days.
It's a brilliant scheme. I wish I'd thought of it.
Ah, then I'd have to hate you too. No, I'm just kidding. My brother used to say, if you want to go crazy, read Revelation. Yo, I
Yes.
read a little of that, and that's some upsetting shit. And in fact, a lot of the evangelicals are. It's so weird. They are so hung up on that. Like, they're looking so forward to the end of the world. They don't care what they want it by any means necessary, which sounds pretty unchristiany. And it's like, you're jumping so far ahead. You're barely doing what the rest of the book tells you to do. So you want to jump straight to the end. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know what they think it's going to look like. He's going to float down, and you're going to be like, look, I let all these people die so we can have you come back. And he's going to be like, that's not exactly what I was wanting. Like, I can't imagine if God really loves all his children, Jesus, was kind of a hippie and didn't want people to. He didn't even have his homeboys jump those Romans when they came to get him. He was like, no, put your sword away. He didn't even tell them go fuck them up. Like, he could have. He didn't. So you really think he's going to be happy that all these people cheered on all these kids being killed? Like, nah. What about being pro-life? Like, be in it or don't be in it. But all these people, a lot of the Democrats, I hate to say it, they are right. A lot of these evangelicals are pro-birth.
Yeah,
After the kids are born, fuck them kids. Me, I'm very pro-life. I don't even like the death penalty. Don't get me wrong. Someone breaks in your house, tries to kill you, self-defense. That's fair. Hell, even Jesus was down with self-defense. He's like, if you don't got a weapon, man, sell your cloak and get you one. And the only reason why it wasn't because they just didn't have guns back then. Jesus would have been strapped with a Glock. Maybe.
Yeah.
He might have. He might have at least been all right with everybody else doing it. Maybe that wasn't his thing. I don't know. But the point is, somewhere in the Bible it even says, sell your cloak and get you a sword. So he understood self-defense. He was with it. So I don't deny anybody the right to self-defense. But but the death penalty, I don't know, because at that point, that person, he's locked in jail. Well, he or she, but whatever. They're locked in jail. They are no longer a danger to you. They're locked up, and that's no longer an immediate threat. And then a lot of times, by the time they get around to executing the person, they spent more time in jail than they would have. They just pleaded guilty to the murder in the first place and got 20 years. Mm-hmm. So you're punishing someone twice. And also, our system is so messed up. There's a chance that you have the wrong person any fucking way. And so the way it works is whether you committed the murder or not. If you say you did it, then you can at least not get the death penalty. But if you swear you're innocent, you're actually innocent, you swear, and no matter what they do to you, you stand by, I am innocent, I didn't do it, you'll get the death penalty. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So, they might take it easy on you if you even lie and say, yeah, I did it, just to not get killed by the state. That's horrible. That's a horrible way to put somebody in that situation. And I don't know how many in Oklahoma, but I think in the last 30 years, we've had like 150 people, I think, released from death row because they had the wrong fucking person. And they've been in there for 20, 30 years. And so that's why so when people say, or I mentioned, they've been in jail for 20 years, I don't mean put an express lane to the death penalty. Do not. Because sometimes it takes 15 or 20 years for them to get around to finding out that person was innocent. And I can't imagine how many people we've executed that were actually not guilty. That horrifies me. And I don't remember if it was Thomas Jefferson or who it was, but the gist of it was basically it's better that 10,000 guilty men go free than one innocent man be confined.
No, and I agree that I don't know about that figure, but I know I would way
Well,
rather.
I think he was using an exaggerative number to show how
Yeah, yeah,
important
yeah,
it was
yeah.
to throw an innocent
But
person in jail.
I would rather a shit ton of guilty people go free as one innocent person.
I would rather not. I mean, I would like there not to be, but I mean, there's so many guilty people walking free anyway,
Yeah,
and a lot of
exactly.
innocent people locked up, and it's
I
quite upsetting. And so that's why I
it
can't be okay with
is.
the death penalty because anybody who knows anything knows that our justice system is very flawed.
Well,
So there's a chance
before
the idea of executing
yeah,
an innocent person kills me.
yeah, exactly. Before I became a adherent of Ron Paul's, I was the other way. I was really strong on the death penalty. Because I felt like we've got to do justice and we've got to make sure they can never do it again and blah 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 and I
Well,
still listen to
if they
those
stay locked up, they
arguments,
can't.
but yeah, the very similar reasons that you've given, I'm really not pro death penalty anymore because
Yep.
it's at least if you've imprisoned someone wrongfully, you can't really make it up to them, but you can at least let them out and they can live the rest of their
Oklahoma is
life.
supposed to give I think it's like $75,000 to people. I think it depends on how long you've been in jail wrongfully. And like the last few times they've had to release somebody for them being innocent, they did the best not to even pay it. I'm like, that's
Yeah, of
fucking
course they did.
horseshit. We're like, that's fucking
Yeah.
horseshit. You were wrong, and now like it's possible some of their friends and family are no longer alive, and it's like having to start over at middle age. That's fucking horrible. The least you can do is give them fucking money. Damn. I would
Yeah,
rather my tax dollars go to that than to go to useless wars overseas.
exactly. Exactly.
Besides that, and the money would just come right back to the economy because they'd be spending it. So,
Yeah, precisely. I mean, they're going to uh, use that money to live, and so it's just going back in, unless they move to a foreign country. But
well,
then
I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they did. Honestly, I
I
wouldn't blame
really
them.
wouldn't either.
I mean, like,
Not
fuck this
that
place. If I
person.
got locked up for 20 years, something I didn't do, fuck yeah. And that could have happened to me, actually,
Yeah.
because, like, I was, like, I got fucking snowballed or whatever you fucking call it in a court case back in, like, 2003. It started in
Hmm.
2002 and ended in, like, 2003. And, yo, I tell you what. Oh, my God. Actually, it was, like, earlier part of 2004. I can't remember. I have the court paperwork. But they knew it was bullshit. And I didn't think about it for a long time. I mean, I thought about it, but I didn't think outside the box of it until I stumbled across an article where a woman had been found guilty of the same thing I was found guilty of. And she's halfway through a 30-year sentence in Mabel Bassett right now.
Holy shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know you could go to jail for that. I'm like looking at the article and I'm reading it. And she was kind of blamed for the same thing I was blamed for. I mean, it wasn't true. I didn't do it, obviously, but
I
I think,
understand.
and it showed me right there. The moment I read that article, I realized the court knew I didn't do it. They just had already got the ball rolling and decided they were just going to more or less, play it out. But they
Yeah.
knew. I think
Well,
they knew that if I actually went to an actual prison, that I would have a Supreme Court case on my hands, and they didn't want that.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they just kind of, it's kind of like doing, like you quote unquote get arrested, you just do a walkthrough, kind of like that, just for a formality. I think that's what they were doing in this case. It was just a formality, I think, because I think partway through that, I think they realized I didn't do it, and so like it was just a horse and pony show after that. So I was never
Yeah.
arrested. I was never put in jail. So I think they knew I didn't actually do it. They just wanted someone to blame. Is really what it was.
I
But the
think
fact that she
someone
was
in
found
here.
guilty of the same thing I was, and she went for 30 years. And the only difference I can see is
Yeah.
she actually knew who was guilty, and actually had done the crime. Where I don't know any of that, and
Yeah.
and she's got, like I said, she's halfway through a 30-year sentence in Mabel Bassett, and she
Oh,
was convicted the year or two after me.
that's
And the only
crazy.
difference I really see, other than she knew who was guilty, and I hate to play this card, I do, is she's not white.
Oh
And
crap!
I
I'm
hate to bring
sorry.
that card up, but it's hard. I'm sitting here looking at the difference between her and I, and I'm like, because we're both poor, We both got blamed for a crime that we didn't do. She was able to point to who actually did it, but they felt that she didn't do enough to stop it, so they put her in for 30.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God, that could have been me. And I'm horrified that it happened to anyone. But the idea I could have gone to 20 or 30 in for something I didn't do fucking horrifies me. And knowing that I could have, they might have gotten away with doing that to me like they've done to other people. I think that's one of the reasons I'm so rabid about this kind of thing. Because what if I was blamed for someone who, somebody had died and I was blamed for it? Then what?
Yeah.
I probably would have.
Yeah.
They probably felt like they could have gotten away with putting me in. Even though I didn't kill anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. But I was blamed.
I know.
And I don't talk about that a lot. But
no, I understand that.
But yeah, I think that's why I get so rabid about this sort of thing. And I look, Kamala Harris was going to kill it, have it executed until the judge stepped in and said, we need a DNA test. And he was innocent. See, this is the kind of shit I'm fucking talking about happening. And it happens all the time. And that's why one of the reasons I get so mad when I look at like Twitter and Facebook and look at the news and I read the comments and people are like, an inmate dies in Oklahoma County Jail. Again, fucking happens all the time, which scares me over going there, even for a ticket. I'm scared I won't come out. Like that idea scares the shit out of me. Especially if you might get blamed for something you didn't do, then fuck, it's not like you could have done anything different. You didn't do it in the first fucking place, but whatever. I've worked in the legal field for 25 years. Has many flaws and loopholes, and a lot of politics involved too, right? Look up the Innocence. I am following the Innocence Project on Facebook. I absolutely, yes, Miss Broccoli, yes, hell yeah, and I think that's the reason why I'm so against the death penalty. Is because I see, they fuck up, and sometimes they let a guilty person go free. And then, like, other times they'll lock up an innocent person or a person who, like, that doesn't deserve it as much, Like, there's situations where, like, a baby gets hurt or something, for instance, and the father did it, or the stepfather did it while the mom was at work. And sometimes the dad will go in for, like, or the stepdad or the boyfriend or whatever the fuck he is, will go in for, like, 5 years, the mom will get, like, 20. And I'm like, she wasn't even there. Well, she enabled it. Wait, you're going to get... So she supposedly enabled it, even though she was at work and didn't see anything happening. She was at work, so she wasn't at the scene of the crime. But you're going to give her 2 or 3 times as much time in jail as the one who actually fucking did it? Oklahoma hates women. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. I thought the Democrats were being melodramatic when they said that. But when you look at that kind of shit, I think they might be a little bit right. I don't necessarily say that Oklahoma hates women when it comes to like them not making abortion legal. But things like imprisoning women for something someone else did and they didn't know. And then, because there's like, what crime would that happen in? Like, if like you and I are hanging out and then, like say we were roommates or whatever, and you go rob a bank, it's as absurd as them coming to arrest me and putting me in for longer than you for you having gone and done it. Like, exactly. I wasn't even there. And also, if anybody's feeling frisky and they want to Google it, look up the statistics in those cases where, a woman killed her rapist, and there was one that actually killed her trafficker who had been trafficking her. She killed him, and she's facing life in prison for killing her rapist and her trafficker.
Yeah, that's...
And nobody fucking saved her. She had to save herself. And we punish people for this. Well, not me, but like the system punishes people for this.
Yeah.
And it's fucking insane, and I hate it all. So I think that's one of the reasons why I see people rioting and protesting. I'm like, fucking get them. Because ever there was a system that deserved it, it's ours.
Yeah, I agree. It's
I think I got my blood pressure up. There we go. Let me take a little, because my doctor gave me like a little dose. It's like a 12.5. So usually people start out at 25 milligrams. Mine's 12.5, so it's not super high, but I can feel the blood pressure in my neck and my face. My face feels like it's got fluid settling. I'm like, eeh. Hold on.
Ruben Christopher Haynes, evidently one of his messages didn't show. I know sometimes I see YouTube will bring across a message, and like so far I've just let all of them go because I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen. It didn't show. He was trying to say anything.
I didn't see anything for Ruben,
I didn't either.
So YouTube.
I looked up a ways, and all I see everybody else's messages, and then I said, He says, do that again. And then I come down and it says my message didn't show. So, like, it didn't show it to my
Gotcha.
either. Sometimes it does that. I remember there's times when I've come into a chat and I said, hey, or hey, everyone, with like a little cat walking and everything, and it wouldn't show up. And I was like, the fuck? I think it did it on your channel
Yeah, I
once,
know.
a couple of times.
It
So
did. It
I was
did.
like, what the fuck? I had to message you on like other platforms, like, dude, it's not letting me talk. And I wasn't saying anything bad.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt, and I don't doubt that Ruben didn't say anything bad. I just, like I
Oh,
say, sometimes it'll actually show me, but in this case, I didn't see a thing. So YouTube just blocked that, and I'm sorry about that
oh, you
because I
shouldn't.
would
It's
have
not your fault.
probably let it
Is that for
through.
the United States or is that in like one state? But wow, 375 people have been freed since 2022. I'm assuming that's from death row. So yeah, and that means that would be 375 people wrongfully killed and already wrongfully convicted. I can't imagine how many people
Mm-hmm.
that didn't have a way of getting shown they were innocent. It could be higher. These are the ones that just were able to get a lawyer to help them.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people. 375 people since 2022. That's not even since in the last 5 years. That's just in the last two.
that's
That's
insane.
madness, and that's why I am the way I am. Yes,
I don't know
yes.
if we
So
still.
that's people who were sentenced to death,
Yeah,
and their lives have already been ruined. I mean, they've already been in for probably 10, 20 years. Like, family members have moved on. Well, some of them, their kids are probably grown. Maybe they missed their chance to have kids. Who knows? I mean, so much happens in 10 or 20 years. And that's why I'm
yeah, that's
horrified when
true.
I sorry.
That's okay.
But that's why I get so horrified when I look at like the news on the Facebook or this and that, and I see the comments. And people are like, another prisoner dies. And people are like, well, it saved us tax money. Well, shouldn't have been in there. Well, do the time, did the crime, do the time, whatever, stupid shit like that. And I'm like, you realize how many people in there might be innocent? So many people in the county jail are in there simply because they just didn't have the money to bond out. And they may not have a chance to see a judge for a bit. I mean, if someone can't afford like $2,000 or $3,000 bond, it doesn't mean they're actually guilty. They're not guilty if they've gone to court. They just have to wait in there because they couldn't pay the uh, ransom basically to get out. The person doesn't deserve to
Yeah,
die because they're poor and can't bond out.
personally, I kind of believe that our prisons are a kind of a slavery, cheap labor scheme.
It is. It
Is what I
absolutely
think they
is.
are.
It is. It's been set up that way for a very long time. And I'm talking to you live stream how a lot of our laws, like our gun laws, or like the start of having the gun laws and the drug laws, were based on racism. Well, this kind of
Yeah,
was too, because after they were freed, they were like, well, fuck. And so the system realized, you know what? If we can just incarcerate them, we can technically still have them enslaved. And then they realized, you know what? Why stop there? We can do this to everybody, despite
oh
the color
yeah,
of their skin. And so technically it's not racist if it's fucking everybody. And so, like, that goes back to that, you get what you wish for, but in the worst way fucking possible. So, like,
mm-hmm.
yeah. And so that's what they've done. And it's what they do to everyone. I mean, like, Wes Cagle had talked about the punishment fitting the crime. I can't imagine how the punishment fits the crime to have someone get caught with a joint in their ashtray and they lose the right to vote and the right to protect their home forever. That's insane. That's madness.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
This is
there's
also absolutely true and horribly dangerous because those prisons are, I'm judging by the horror stories people have told me, are not properly trained for people anyway, and they're definitely not trained for mental health crisis like a mental hospital technically should be. Although I've heard horrible stories about mental health hospitals and why a lot of them got shut down because of the shit they were letting happen, including
yeah,
drugging them up, medical experiments. Some people were getting locked up that didn't actually deserve it. It's fucking, the whole thing is such a mess. And all illegal actions against the ADA. Assistant district attorney? Unless it's a different ADA. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times people have a mental health issue, they just get locked up in jail. And here in Oklahoma, we have Oklahoma County Jail. Y'all should see that shit. Holy the American with Disabilities Act. Okay, thank you. I did not realize.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense why it's against the ADA. Okay, I was confused. I was thinking, is it a district attorney? Like, my brain was just not computing there for a second. My brain has been going a million miles an hour for the last 2 hours. So I'm like, ooh. Phew. Man, I feel depressurized. I feel like I've bitched about a lot of stuff.
that's good.
It's
We
easier than
have-
therapy. I tell you what. Hey, when I was having a therapist, it was only 45 minutes, once a week.
Exactly.
So by the time I saw her again, the first 2/3 of that would be like telling her about what she missed in the prior week.
I finally found a good therapist, but I can't afford to keep going. So
Well, I had one like in 2021, and they fucking fired. She told me they were out to get her. Oh, who is that? Oh, that's Raquel Kitty. Hold up. Meow. Yeah, yeah. I'm on live stream with our tired blogger at the moment,
yes.
Curtis. Ranker Steve is not a tired blogger that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I was
he's
actually about to wrap it up here in a minute. Yep. Yeah, we were just talking about this system being corrupt. You know me.
Is that Rachel? Rachel?
Raquel.
Raquel, sorry.
I've called her a few R names by accident because my brain will just be like, darn it, which one?
Say hi.
Oh, he says hi. She says hello. But yeah, about to wrap it up. Let's see. Are you live? Are you going live tonight? Ah, righto. I think I saw it. I think I gave it a like. I hope I did. I think I did. I have to look. So I remember seeing it. I just don't know if yesterday or today that I saw it. Well, I just can't remember which one I liked. But huh? Oh, girl. Well, hydrate and try to put your feet up for a little bit. See how you feel. Oh, okay. All righty. Well, hold on a second. Oh, all right. I think I depressurized and I have bitched about all I can about right now. So don't worry, I'll probably be back in a day or so with more to bitch about because the world
That's
and all its
fantastic,
bullshit
though.
never stops. By God.
No, it never does, sadly. Never does.
But I am super excited that
And
Flowers has come to visit us and Miss Frosty Broccoli and Awesome Ruben. And and Devil Flyer came in to say hi for a second. Lovely to see you
nice.
here. And let's go, of course, Moises and Wes Cagle and Ancient One. Oh, and Tommy, which was quite a big surprise and very lovely to see him. And let's see. Oh, and of course, Ronnie. It was a little earlier, so I almost forgot. Glad he was here. Oh, and Apex, of course. Cannot forget him. Think that's almost everybody.
Yes.
My mouse is being a dick. Yes. Awesome. Didn't want to forget anyone. Anyway, y'all all been awesome. We are so glad that you came by and hang out with us. Let's see. Oh, yes. Let's not forget that Deleted Scenes is doing a live stream probably in about 40 minutes by now.
In about
And
4 minutes, yes. Yep, you
so
got
if you
it.
want to, so hopefully, I guess you could drop that link again real quick, just because we'd have to scroll up way I.
Um, Let me get that.
So I will drop this link. So if anybody wants to contribute to helping me see my daughter that I haven't seen in 17 years, that would be super freaking awesome. It's always appreciated. And here is the link. If y'all want to go and see Curtis here at Deleted Scenes doing their live stream, do you know what it's going to be about?
I think it's just going to be just a bunch of tired old people talking about how life is. But
Sounds relatable. I
but
like it.
I know Deleted's getting more and more riled about things that Hollywood and Disney are doing.
I hear that.
And I've kind of I haven't exactly boycotted, but I don't really watch a lot of stuff anymore.
Well, watching
Uh,
pirated stuff is how I boycott. That way I have all the entertainment and they get none of my dollars.
I like it. I like it.
Why should
I'm
I?
actually
Why
glad
should
you
I
told me
suffer
that
because
because
they're bastards?
it makes it so that I can deeply respect your pirating films.
So yes, if anybody wants to watch
uh,
free shows and movies, some of which are still in theaters, you can go use Flickstore with that spelling, and it'll have
well,
.to.
and I found that they have Moonlight. So
Nice.
if that works on Cosme, well, first I
Oh
want
yeah,
to
that's how I
someday.
show my movies. Is through this one caused me. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I'm
yeah,
going
this
to try and
works just fine.
experiment, and I want to start, but I haven't made a time because I don't know. I can't seem to figure out when everyone's available. But I want
Right.
to start on my channel with Kung Fury one of
Never
these
heard of it.
days. It's so bad,
Oh god.
it's good,
That
but
sounds terrible.
it's not something you can watch and take seriously.
I would imagine not.
It's not going to make you. It's not and it's not for everybody. It's very like if you don't like say Monty Python, even though that's
Oh.
not exactly the style of humor, but it's ridiculous humor. So if you don't like that style of humor, you wouldn't like it. But that's what I'm wanting to start with. And then now that I know where I can see Moonlight, I might do some watch-alongs with Moonlight because I've been missing that show lately, and I
Well,
can't
that
find it
I think that will be fun.
till today. Until now, I finally found it here. So, but I haven't come up with a time schedule yet. So I'm
Right.
open to ideas, thoughts. Whenever anyone thinks it would be fun,
You could probably post a little
maybe.
poll, see, and let people vote on it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Capital idea. I'm glad I thought of it.
Indeed, indeed. People seem to do well with things they can interact with.
Yes, true. I've been trying to have a stream with Thade, but he's been having he's been having a rough patch.
Oh, poor little thing.
So I'm not. I hope I'm wording it all the right way.
Sounds all right,
Uh,
I reckon.
but he hasn't been able to make it, and it's not his fault. It's really tough, and I just want to leave it open for him because if he was just being a jerk, but he's not. He's having legit things that are happening. So
Right.
so whenever he's available, we're gonna have some talks about ancient civilizations.
Ooh, that does
And
sound fun.
then in the mean, I'm enjoying it. We've talked about how we in the past we talked about Göbekli Tepe, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's
Oh yeah, I've
one of
seen
the
the ancient
oldest.
aliens
Yeah,
thing a little bit.
yeah. So basically, society is a lot older than we think it is, and what are the ramifications of that, and so on and so on. So, and that's pretty much it for me. And I know you tell me if you don't mind, what are you going to be doing in the near future?
I'm pretty much the same stuff, bitching about headlines and whatnot, and at random times, and I'm waiting for a really cool movie to pop up, like on the little pirated website, so I can show it to everybody. So as soon as I see a movie I think everybody's gonna like, I will get it set up and ready.
Cool beans. Well, I sure appreciate you having me on. It's
Always
fun.
glad to have you
Thank
here.
you so much. Oh,
And we got 18 likes. That's the most I've had in a long time. Holy shit!
that's fantastic.
I've not had that many in a long time. I'm very excited about that. I'm feeling kind of chipper. I might have some chocolate.
Well, I
We're always
wish,
next to
I,
these hot
wish I
chocolate.
could say I attracted people in, but I don't think I did
You,
this
you
time.
might have. You might have. Because usually I'm up here by
Hopefully I
myself
kept
and I
them
usually
on
don't
for
get
the
18
show.
likes. So like you probably helped actually. But
I hope so.
anyways,
That's
but
my
we
tip.
love everybody. Right. We
Yes.
love everybody. We are super glad that you came by to join us. I'll play the little outro because like, the other night I didn't, it felt weird not to do it. So like, I'm going to do it now. But
Right?
hugs.
Welcome
No.
to the ship show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, got the fuck. And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder dash.